Okay. So, most recently in our adventure, you all completed a mission aiding Kinsalo in releasing the children of Remnus, these kind of fey, spectral, bird-like spirits. And upon uh, defeating the witch that had imprisoned them, you slayed her and were looting her series of interconnected huts and stumbled on several different pieces of valuable loot, as well as a vase that seems to have been made from Divinor, the same metal that Tobirama's medallion is made from. Uh, Unsure of the connection there or the origins of this Divinor exactly, but it had been mentioned by Alathir in your conversations with them in the past. Upon activating this Divinor vase by reading the druidic inscription on it, Rome appeared, a natural spirit like entity that kind of reflects various aspects of the terrain around her, and claiming she was a nature spirit bound to this sense of purpose that fate will take her where she is needed. She is here to tend the earth, whatever that may mean. She is now accompanying you in your travels. Having completed your mission at the time, you traveled back through the Sapphire Wood, only to find no success at retreating from the plane of fairy the same way you came. Not sure where to move forward, Telperion recalled knowledge of the L tree, a monolithically massive, translucent tree that reaches thousands of feet into the air of the Feywild, and whose roots reach across and throughout the forests of this plane, many directly toward and into various elven populaces, which might offer a more stable and reliable way back home, if anything in this plane can be considered reliable. And so you journeyed far north for several hours, nearing the closest root of the L tree, but not before there was some strange commotion in the wood, as several lycanthropy-touched individuals were seemingly chasing a many-headed and several-limbed dire troll creature. Not immediately sure whether to pursue aggression or allyship, a fight broke out, concluding with the killing of the enormous, dangerous troll creature as well as the were creatures and their seemingly domesticated spider newts. And that is where we pick back up as your elevated heart rates begin to slow. Rome's conjured vines restraining the now dead troll pull back and wither as the spell ends its duration. And Tobirama's now beautiful spectral arrow fades into mist.
Ooh, and Consolo
That's
and
a
I land, right?
Yes, and so that also takes place. Kinsalo beats his wings and lowers to the ground and arches his back to let you slide down, and he magically morphs back into his humanoid form. And he actually says, well, that escalated quickly. Hey, Jerry, sorry I'd let you stay aboard longer, but I'm not exactly used to carrying someone like that. The Caneloft folk don't really need that sort of assistance.
I'm like big brother. Like Jiri's taller than him, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's like 5'10".
Jiri's gonna grab him and be like, "Oh, dude, that was so sick. You were all like, ah," and I was like, "Oh, those wolves suck." Blah 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 blah. That was such a good battle, man. You should let me fly around on you more often.
Yeah, we made a good team in the air for sure. I got some thoughts about that battle, but maybe we'll get to that in a little bit. Do we want to push on forward? What do we want to do next?
Is everyone okay? That was a lot all at once. Is anyone worse for wear? I've got lots of resources to allocate here. Telperion, you good?
I come panting back in because I had used my hasted speed.
Yeah, just run to slay the final spider newt.
Yep. Slaughter that newt, and I feel like I make it back in time for then the haste spell to wear off, and I just kind of sit there panting. I'm fine, but I do use the psionic recovery, and I regain one of the psionic energy I used.
Okay. I'll walk over and pat you on the back and give you 7 HP back.
puts me at full. Thanks, Toby. How's everyone else?
Well, what are you guys thinking? Do we press on?
I mean, yeah, we had a direction. We got pulled off course there for a couple minutes, but
Any chance you saw how much further it was when you were up above the tree line?
Yeah, we got a very good vantage point. I'm thinking not more than a mile or two north. It looked like one of the roots of that crazy spectral tree was reaching down into the forest. So if that's where we're going, it seems near-ish by another half hour or hour max.
Yeah, I saw it. We were really close, but we should go check their pockets before we go.
Do they have any pockets?
I don't know. I couldn't tell if they had pockets from up high.
Guess I could investigate that Oga thing.
I mean,
As you guys are just considering the aftermath of the fight, like where Garurumon, these individuals definitely did have various styles of like leather strapped to them. Even though they were were creatures, they were clothed with gear on them.
I wonder if anything would indicate where they came from.
we can certainly do some digging.
All right, let's look.
All right, so who's searching what here?
I'm gonna search the newts.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a nature check, Rome.
11.
With an 11, you kind of are starting to inspect them and are immediately put off by the fact that even just the slightest tap of your finger to their slimy exterior almost numbs your finger immediately, and you recognize that these things are secreting some kind of acid on their exterior, as well as you can see that one with its jaw open, its tongue hanging out slain, their tongues are abnormally long and are coated with like a viscous tacky like residue, and you think you can see further back in the throat possibly some like ichor filled sacs in the back of their throat that is possibly of value. So you determine that those are there, but extracting them or gaining physical remains of these creatures might just be a delicate maneuver.
Okay. Can I attempt to cut out the gland?
Definitely. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Wow.
Oh, and I also, it looks like it sent the thing to your thing, but it's not rolling the dice. I also did not get the chance to troubleshoot the die rolling part. But with an 8.
Can I jump in really quick before you say anything? I feel like this is something that Telperion would take an interest in immediately.
I'm watching her do
And potentially try to help her.
Oh, how many are there? How many spider newts are there?
There's 2.
3?
There are 3 total that had been
There's one
slain.
Oh, my bad. There's 3.
I'll go over to another one and I'll pee in its mouth too. And I'll watch Rome do one, and as she's doing it, I'll say, Rome, do you want any aid with this?
Yeah, I'm not incredibly familiar with this this monster. It must be a newly evolved species.
I don't know anything about the species, but I do like extracting venom in sacs and glands from creatures, so if you and I want to work together, we can try to see how many we can harvest.
Yeah, let's work together on this for sure.
All right, with Telperion's aid, and you, I believe, had harnessed or harvested a sack from a basilisk once upon a time, so you have done stuff like this. So yeah, with Telperion's aid, Rome, go ahead and give me one more sleight of hand roll. This will be considered with advantage. So it's either the previous 8 or whatever this number is of the 17. Go ahead and give me a d6 roll.
Okay.
in the process of moving across all 3 spider newts, the first one is clumsy and another one seems fragile. You guys damage and rupture 2 glands, but you gain 4. So you guys recover and harvest 4 spider newt glands, which their alchemical use can be possibly determined in the near future or far future, however you guys pursue that. But you guys have these available in your inventory.
Okay, Telperion, I'll let you hold on to them since you already have a basilisk gland.
Sure.
Add to your collection.
What kind of sex were these?
Just spider newt gland.
Is that in already, or do I make?
No. This is a custom thing. I have not added it to D&D Beyond.
Roulette, come look at those wolves with me. I'll guard your back in case they try to bite you.
I think they're dead, but I appreciate that.
You never know the wolf.
Knowing our typical after battle procedure, I'll hit Roulette with a little extra oomph to try and help, giving her guidance.
Toby, you should guard my back while I guard Roulette's back.
Jiri, do you not think I always have your back?
Oh, true. I shouldn't even have said that. I should just assumed.
Okay, so Roulette, with Jiri's aid and Toby's guidance, go ahead and give me a investigation with advantage plus a D4.
Oh.
Yowza. Okay.
31.
Above 30. That might be our first above 30 ability check all campaign. There might have been rolls.
Jiri got one.
Jiri definitely got one. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it was
very
a
nice.
deception check on something.
Oh, that's probably
It was a
right.
self-deception check.
Perfect. With an above 30, I will say, because I want to reward that high of a thing, you're going to get the stuff available, but I want to also reward a little extra. So what you do find automatically is 120 gold across all of the dead bodies. A cumulative amount of loot here is 120 gold pieces, noticeably not stamped or embossed with any kind of like sealed insignia of like because you guys know the pieces of gold you guys carry, some are plain and smooth and otherwise not damaged, but many have Belladonian crests, creation crests, etc. These are entirely smooth. 120 gold, 347 copper, noticeably no silver. 2 short swords, a maul, a great axe, 3 daggers, an antitoxin, and 12 rations. Additionally, Roulette, as you're searching through these things, you're going over things of obvious value, and then you remember those strange contraptions they were using to eject projectiles on ropes. They're tether casters. You may have heard one of the individuals say, the tether casters seem to be made from somewhat fragile wood, actually, and have been damaged in the fight. But with that high of a roll, you can determine how these things were loosely put together. You can find out, oh, that wire was wrapped around this part. That was a pulley system for that component. So you start gaining some understanding of the construction of these strange devices.
He got a schematic.
Oh, I love it.
I have a DM question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's been a week, and I'm in a different location. I had mind reading still up when the session ended.
Yes, you had cast it in combat. Does it last for a minute, 10 minutes?
It lasted for a minute. I should have said this earlier, but with everything I forgot. Can I have used it one time to read one person's surface thoughts before it disappeared?
Sure. As the commotion and chaos of battle died down, who are you shifting your still active
Kinsalo.
telepathy? Kinsalo.
The person I know the least, minus Rome. I'm curious about his take on this, and I just like as the I get like I just want to sweep a surface thought before it disappears.
So he doesn't even need to make a whiz save because these are just surface level thoughts. So this happens automatically.
So he would have been coming down with Jiri.
Yep. As he was coming down with Jiri, you noticed a somewhat severe change in his mentality when he shifted from his avian hawk form to his humanoid form. Like a change of temperature of like 40 degrees, you notice a stark shift. When the bird was coming back down with Jiri, it was full of thoughts of heightened aggression, instinct, feral mindset, eagerness to pick out prey. And as soon as he came back to his humanoid state, that kind of elevated sense of combat immediately turned kind of waxing contemplative. Like he immediately went to thoughts of, oh, do we do the right thing here? And that's kind of it. But that's what you get from that. Otherwise, you guys feel like you've been very thorough in searching the bodies of the spider newts, the trapper lycanthropes. Yes, Telperion.
I want to kick the tires on the troll thing and just not necessarily investigating it thoroughly, but I want to investigate this monstrosity and just try to determine what I can about it.
Go ahead and give me a nature check as well.
I feel like in this world, Telperion would use the phrase "kick the tires," but like it doesn't mean anything to us. He just like makes up this phrase.
I was elvish when I said it.
Yeah.
14.
14. As you look at the troll, it's kind of wild how it's like skin is still, even in death, its skin is trying to like knit back together, but it's like being impeded by the coagulating and slowing of its blood circulation. As it has died and its heart has stopped pumping at this point, the healing properties of its blood are diminishing. And it's just kind of is interesting to you. It's certainly probably a magical and perhaps valuable component, troll blood, but you're suspecting it's rapidly running out of time to harvest that.
I don't even know if it would do anything, but can I stick a vial, just grab a vial of troll blood?
Yeah, you can grab a vial of troll blood. Do me a favor and just say in your notes, vial of dead dire troll blood.
Thank you.
Otherwise, you guys are left in this space. And I would actually like everyone to please give me a Constitution saving throw.
Hot. Do we know what this effect? Never mind. I'm not gonna ask.
You'll find out very quickly. What have we got here? Okay. Rome.
I don't know why I rolled twice. I'm sorry.
I don't know I rolled twice, but we will take the first one. Jiri, Toby Rama, Roulette, Telperion, what'd you end up with?
15.
15. All of you just feel, and Telperion, your wave of lethargy after the haste wore off was really got to you, but then over time you're able to kind of right yourself and get back to a state of kind of confidence in your physical prowess right now, as well as everyone else. You most of you feel very good. It was tiring combat, but Jiri, you suffer 1 point of exhaustion as you guys have traveled for several hours, far more than a normal day of travel and physical exertion in a fight as well.
Jiri sits down and is like, guys, I'm so thirsty. We need a vacation. When we get back to the real world, the material plane, we should go to like, I don't know, Goital or something like that, and like just relax.
We got our house there. We could head back after we return this package back to his family.
Like take a week off, see some shows, you know what I mean? Hang out. Just chill. I'm very tired.
Kinsalo, have you been to Koritol?
Yes, I have been to Koratal. Not very often. It's been probably 4 or 5 times in my life. But I'm with Jiri. I'm exhausted. I never carry people around on my back like that. And I also have been walking today for more than usual. Are you guys interested in, I don't know, taking a breather before we continue on? We don't necessarily know what we're walking into at the where the route hits the forest.
Yeah, Telperion, would you have any insight on if the roots of these trees are high traffic? If there's going to be a lot of...
Well, my first thought is, I always think lightning doesn't strike twice in the same spot. So if there's going to be trouble, I doubt it would be here. So maybe we could take a rest here for a little while. I think that it could be a nexus of energy that might attract some life. So I like Kinsalo's idea of kind of recuperating before heading back into the fire. That being said, we've been going for several hours. When did we last sleep? How many hours ago was that? I don't even know.
Well, we didn't.
Go ahead.
I mean,
I would like, just asking that question, I kind of want an intelligence check out of Telperion with disadvantage.
A disadvantaged intelligence check?
Mhm.
10. Not 11.
Above 10 with disadvantage is good enough that it's like, it is very trippy tracking time in the Feywild since it is ever-present twilight, and the twilight's barely making it into the underbrush here. Through a dense canopy, it is very difficult to even see the sky. But like when Jiri and Kinsalo breached the canopy and saw the tree off in the distance recently, still that same kind of dusk twilight coloration, and it is impossible to use the sun to your advantage for time, although it's helpful for direction. But you still are able to deduce that, well, we were traveling for a couple hours to get to the witch's place. Then we fought the witch, dealt with the aftermath of that, rescued Rome, and then traveled easily what your standard 8-ish hours of travel were after that to get to this point. So it has been a very full day of travel.
I just thought of another way to check how long it's been. Toby, how many spells could you cast still today?
I can cast
Good measure of time.
a good number, actually. I felt very refreshed after our encounter. I could cast
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
eight spells, so I'm pretty fresh.
What do y'all think? Short rest and then on the way?
Yeah, I need to
I
lay
think
down for at least a little bit.
Yeah,
Also, lightning definitely hits the same place twice. I've seen it.
Is it manufactured by your own hands?
probably by his dad.
Yeah, and my dad, yeah.
How about this non-magical lightning then?
Maybe. We'd have to test it out.
Rome, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm quite tired. I could definitely sleep for a little bit since I have been awoken. Kind of shift into the time's a little difficult.
Haven't you been napping for like thousands of years, though?
Yeah, but I mean, you get used to napping a long time. You require a good bit of sleep.
So, something happened in that fight that's never happened before, and you're the newest element. Are you why I was super fast for a moment?
Oh yes, I realized my my mind is a bit scrambled. Next time, I will provide you with that gift earlier in battle.
That
That it is better utilized.
we always have a saying, but I can't think how to translate it into common. That was brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Okay, so are you guys interested in pursuing some version of a rest?
Short rest.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we can make camp real quick. And by camp, I mean sit.
Let's cross this little bit over here and like not fully right on top of all the corpses.
Oh, yeah.
Can Mike Jacoby ask Tim and MK a question?
Yeah.
I'm not noticing something for a very specific reason, but something happened last session that we haven't noticed yet. The three of us. Rome,
Can I Can I make someone make a roll for me?
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I should have also probably mentioned
yeah.
that
I
in
don't
the
think
in the recap.
Recap,
But
yeah.
that as you guys are coming down from the chaos of battle and all gathering for a short rest, yeah, you guys probably all notice. You guys all have
Oh,
above
yeah.
10 passive perceptions, I think.
I
Roulette's skin looks rather youthful.
I think that Rome and I
Oh, right.
wouldn't notice. I don't think I'm gonna notice until
I do agree with Telperion,
I
and
don't know
I
about
also
Rome.
do agree with Rome because Telperion and Rome are long-lived entities and that
Not human.
aren't surrounded by humankind all the time. But yes, the others of you, I think Jiri and Tobirama would notice this.
I don't know if
Jiri
Jimmy's
wouldn't, but-
not perceptive enough. I feel
No,
like
here's
Okay.
this. I was so Jiri. I was gonna cross you off the list too, but I was gonna prioritize Toby first. Toby and this is while I'm investigating, while we're walking around making our brief little camp. Roulette has always been 3/4 of an inch taller than you. You are seeing eye to eye with her as you're walking around, and you might even feel slightly like 1/4 to half an inch taller than her as we're walking around right now, on top of what Christopher has said as far as she looks refreshed in a weird biological way.
Almost, yeah, disconcertingly so.
And because I rolled a 6 on my own perception before, I did not notice anything about my hands.
So you don't feel younger, you just appear younger?
I feel younger. I feel great. But this is the second time within 6 hours where in the midst
Yeah.
of something I am feeling fantastic because the fairy dragon sneezed on me and I felt rejuvenated and great. Then the children of the
Of the remnants gave us the long rest benefits.
they gave us just like an instantaneous long rest and I felt fantastic again. So this is the third time like today where I'm like, oh, I feel great. I love this.
Maybe you think it's like part of the Fey realm, right? Like,
I have no idea what's going on.
yeah.
I just feel great.
While we're short resting, I want to go find the fairy dragon.
Okay, where is the fairy dragon?
I feel like it's by Rome.
I feel like it flits every once in a while back and forth between Rome and Roulette mostly, but in the heat of battle, Roulette, when you ran both Roulette and Rome, when you run into battle, were you paying attention to the fairy dragon?
I would have like tried to stash it or like leave it behind somewhere if it was with me. Because I got up close and personal with the things,
Okay.
the were people, so I would not have had
Bob.
Charles on my
Okay.
shoulder.
I got a good idea. Yeah, you guys don't see the fairy dragon right now.
I mean, I would have assumed that the fairy dragon would have fended for itself. It has instincts.
Fate will bring it back to us if it comes back.
Yeah, if it's meant to be with us, it'll come back.
Call
Maybe
out
it was
with
its
Sylvan.
time.
I've got another snack for you, but you'll have to come find it.
You see Roulette, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and
knew
then
it.
all of a sudden becoming visible.
I knew it.
It just eyes Telperion and kind of cocks its head.
And I pull out another ration for it to nibble on.
It seems interested.
I wave it over to me, and then I telekinetically slip it into my sleeve.
Go ahead and make a because you use Sylvan 2, make a general. You're doing a trick in a way, so give me a charisma check with advantage.
8.
Because this is more playful than a
With
true
advantage?
handling.
Yeah, I have a -1 to charisma, bruh. I rolled a 15 and a 9.
As soon as you're waving it and then you put it into your sleeve, it looks confused at you and then just kind of flutters its wings, but stays on Roulette's shoulder.
Pop back out again.
This being like the start of the short rest, I would have now that everyone I am convinced is like physically okay, I'm gonna now start doing like a check on Roulette, and I'll like sing that Telperian's busy with Fairy Dragon.
I'll quickly open up 3 of those rations and just spread them on the ground.
Yeah.
Roulette, you feeling good? You all right?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I didn't take a single lick during that fight, and I
Here.
think I took out like 4 or 5 of them.
Will you stand up real quick? I just want to. I don't know. I think you missed it. I caught like a magic effect getting you during that. I want to make sure that it didn't have any lingering effects.
Sure. And I will stand up.
Could I like do a full scan?
Absolutely.
Of roulette?
Go ahead and make a medicine check for me.
Yeah, and while I'm doing this, it's pretty easy to tell I'm very just like mechanical about this. Maybe not the right word, but just like very just like keeping an eye out only for like.
Yeah, you were a caregiver in Forest Hollow before meeting everyone. You're definitely used to this type of checkup, like a what do we call it, physical.
Yes,
Counterpoint, and to contrast the care that he's showing, I nudge Jerry and I say, Jerry, how are we going to get this fairy dragon into the other plane with us? And like, I want to start scheming with Jerry, totally ignoring Roulette, on how we're going to get this fairy dragon to come with us to the other plane.
Wait, before you even say that, I interject and say, well, we can just speak to it. Couldn't we convince it?
I don't know if it's old enough. Can you speak to animals?
But I have the ability. I can speak with animals.
And we can resume that, but the 3 of us are strategizing about this, totally ignoring Roulette while Toby's worrying about her.
Perfect. So to resolve the roll, Tobirama, with a above 10, you're not sure of like the magical nature of what happened, but you are definitely getting indications of less wrinkles on her arm, less creases on her hand. There's like less sun damage.
Would you say there's less like calluses from like her crafting work?
Yes, but only barely so. Only probably because you're so insightful of a person and you're evaluating. But even with her younger hands, I would say young Roulette was still probably climbing mountains and doing all sorts of tools. So there's not like an enormous reduction in calluses, but
maybe the only thing I'm noticing is because of the specific like time she spent in the volcano, just incessantly.
Yeah, but so Roulette, is there anything specific Tobirama picks up on?
I guess
otherwise.
Critter, first question for you, my eyes. And I should have thought of this earlier.
I did think of this, and I'm just considering how to describe things.
If you want to take a second to think about that, I will.
No, I have the answer. I already knew this was the case. I just was honestly not prepared to give the answer right away. But you notice her beautiful blue eyes are rather crystal clear blue right now.
I had noticed the like extra thing. Like she showed me that.
You sure did,
and that's not there. Did.
Yeah, the kind of bronze-colored interior inner circle of the iris that almost looked like Alfie was being reflected in her eyes at the time is noticeably gone. There's no like kind of bronze-colored deposits in her iris right now.
Steve, is there anything else before I continue?
The only where is that one? The only thing you would have, because you have such a high passive perception and you would have seen this, a small scar under her, like right in front of her right ear, not even like a big scar. This is something from when she was 15 years old. It was just like a small little discoloration directly beneath like the glasses line is no longer there.
Okay, so I'll finish taking a look over you and I'll like take a second.
See anything weird? Feel fine.
Well, I'm curious if you've noticed we're looking right at eye level right now. That's hasn't been the case before. You were usually
I
Not
will.
to the extent of the others towering.
I will
over
like.
me.
I will puff myself up to try and like stand taller. I'm Toby. We're not in the middle of like a. We're not standing on a floor. We're standing in the middle of the jungle right now. I'd probably
There's
stand on a rock or something.
there's also, it seems like a reversion. Like your eyes look how they did when we first met, and I remember there was like an extra discoloring or like a extra element to them. I think you first showed me that in Corey Tal. There's
Roulette is
also this guy's gone.
Roulette is immediately digging into her pockets and pulling out what looks like a dentist's mirror, like a $50 silver dollar sized. You've seen her use it within Alfie to see the little nooks and crannies. Definitely not like a makeup mirror, but a small one. And sequence of a couple of things that happen. She kind of looks and Toby, did you notice it before this moment, or
I didn't notice it before this encounter with these creatures. Something altered you, and I don't know if Toby would get the idea of a de-aging process, but he can tell Roulette has been altered in her physical state.
She will take that mirror, weapon and shield her down, and she'll first like look in the side of her head, and you can see her just like looking for something, and she'll like lick her hand and try and get the dirt and sweat off, and she doesn't see it.
I'm gonna try just a lesser restoration.
She is ignoring you at this point, so you feel free to do whatever you want. She's like pulling up her sleeves. She's checking a spot like on her elbow, and she's doing that same thing, like rubbing it to see if she can get dirt off, but she's looking for something that's not there. And then she like,
and so I'll do like with my staff, I'll do like a little outline of a very basic like person, and it leaves like some trailing mist behind it, and then I'll ask Roulette to just take a step forward and pass through it as I cast Lesser Restoration, and see if that gives an effect.
She will passively oblige while she is now pulling up her pant leg to like look in the back of her right calf to see, again, looking for something that's no longer there, stepping through your restorative magic.
Roulette, please give me a Constitution saving throw.
Roulette, upon feeling that her physical constitution is being tested for the second time in an hour, she's going to attempt to make it at advantage, pulling on whatever feeling she had prior.
As you try to do that, you are unable to in this moment.
Okay.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Oh my god.
I clicked it, but it didn't go.
No
Hold
more
on.
lightning breath.
Did it go?
Love that, love that, love that.
19.
As Toby Rama's magic starts to surround you in a comforting mist, you immediately feel revolted. Your stomach begins to churn. You're looking in your mirror and you see fading back into existence that scar you were looking for. And you feel the churning, a familiar sickening feeling that you felt many times before. And against your will, lightning streaks out of your mouth in whatever direction you were aiming or facing, as you know you could do, but in that moment you were unable to draw on the enhanced constitutional capability until this was just resolved. But you
I was right
now.
I don't know if that plays.
If you're right in front of her, if you're directly in front of her, please make a dexterity saving throw.
Very TSA. I set up this thing and had her walk through it to try and cleanse her. Dexterity saving throw.
please make a dexterity saving throw. And Roulette, please roll me your breath weapon damage.
Oh, baby.
Makes sense.
Well, I'm
Oh,
gonna
baby.
scare the dragon.
Yeah, Toby Rama, from point blank range, as some sort of physicality returns to Roulette, and you see a scar come back. You see a glowing bronze inner iris come back into her eye as she looks up in horror and spews lightning directly into you.
Is she getting taller as this is happening?
Yeah, but probably not immediately noticeable. She's not like growing inches. It's just like a very small shift, but yes.
Oh, good one, Relay.
I'm glad I have my 6 temp still active. False live love that it lasts an hour.
I'm glad he got use out of it.
But yeah, you are blasted with lightning. It sears up your chest and torso and off into the distance. And all of you, I don't know if some of you have maybe seen Roulette use this in different ways, but maybe not everyone from this clear vantage point. But
They definitely have, because the bridge, when Jiri
That's
and
true.
I
That's
did the
true.
thing.
Rome has never seen this, however.
Rome has
Nor
not
has
seen this.
Kinsalo.
Also, I
Yeah.
think Valkyrie hasn't fully noticed it before either. Like fully, like been. What are you two doing over there?
So
You okay?
Yeah, my
Crit-
lightning magic wore off on her. It's all good.
So Critter, like as I'm checking like my elbow and my head and my leg, all those scars are back.
You seem to be back to normal.
You take a look at Toby, and he's like, back to where you're used to seeing him.
Am
Your
I
Constitution ability not used up, but your breath weapon used up.
okay?
What are you two doing over there?
She had some lingering effects. I think we're good. They did something to her. I didn't realize they were magic wielders.
You can see as steam is like drifting off of Toby Rama.
I'm good. It was just like we're already in the middle of a short rest. I'll be good.
Roulette's gonna look up. Toby, what did you do to me? I stepped through that and you just made me shoot lightning at you.
And I'm just gonna be like, I don't know that I come to a conclusion, but I'm like, hey, we're back. We're back to normal. There was something wrong. We're good
Okay.
now. I'm willing to
I'm
take a little
sorry.
shock.
I'm sorry about that. Okay. I don't know. I'm just gonna like sit.
Kinsalo's just like jaw dropped and just like eyeing both of you. And doesn't say anything.
I think I do need this rest. I'm gonna sit for a bit.
Yeah, me too.
So Rome, what can you say to this thing? We gotta stay with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will do the translating. Let's try and attempt to convince this creature to cross the boundary between the Feywild and the physical realm.
And get it to go vacation with us in Korital. Okay? Tell it that we're all going and that it would get left out and probably be lonely if it didn't go vacation with us.
Okay. So I cast Speak with Animals, and a like kind of like energy pulse kind of like comes out of my planty fingertips towards this creature, and I attempt to communicate with it. I ask it what its purpose is here in the Feywild. And
As
we
you
don't speak with you.
As you speak to it, it definitely opens its butterfly-like wings and flaps them in excitement that it can hear so clearly, someone reaching into its like mind magically and communicating more clearly than it even has the ability to comprehend with Sylvan language. And as it hears your question, it like cocks its head and does a little circle, and you immediately get the sense that this creature is too young to verbally communicate back, although it is understanding your language and is trying to physically, gesturally communicate back. And I'll say you functionally get the idea that as it flits around and moves from tree branch to tree branch and does like little loop-de-loops in the air. You're getting the sense of this is where it's supposed to be. This is its home.
Okay, so I say to Telperion, I get the sense that this creature would not be the same if we were to bring it to the physical realm.
That's sad.
Not the same.
Yes, like this is its habitat, its home. Who are we to take it from its land and relocate it for our own personal gain?
Well, no, so it can hang out with us. We're really cool. I think it would gain a lot.
Superior feels like a little ashamed. Like, oh right, yeah. That's fair point. Jerry, what were you thinking?
Oh, I was thinking it could hang out with us.
That would have been nice.
I don't know. Also, Rome, get used to lightning flying all over the place. How you know? Like spontaneously, there's lightning flying everywhere at any moment.
I can only do it with this javelin. I can't do it like they can with their bodies.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, so I mean, we can start when we get to the boundary. We can certainly pose this question again to this little creature to see if it would want to willingly come with us. But I believe it's going to be a hard task to convince it.
Ask where its mom is. It probably needs its like mom or its dad.
And on top of that, we can care for it, maybe? If it doesn't find someone in the next couple hours that could.
Telperion's like, I can be your dad.
I'll be I always needed a dragon son. Jerry won't do.
Okay, I ask it, where's your family?
As you ask it that, it starts to grow a bit agitated. Its wings flap more frequently, and it looks confused and looks around in the surrounding and like goes off in a direction and then returns in a different direction and then kind of slowly and dejectedly returns with slower wingspan, and you just see its form slowly going invisible.
What did it say?
It didn't say anything back to me. I'm going to release my my magic from it. I believe it may be damaging it or harming it in some way.
It looks sad. What'd you say to it?
I only said what you asked me to say. Why would I lie about that?
Oh.
Perhaps our questions were irritating it.
Whoops. That happens sometimes.
Perfect.
What are we gonna leave it here then?
Hanging out for a little while and then heading on.
All right, we'll let it make the decision. When it sees us leaving, if it wants to come, it'll come.
Yes. I think that's a good idea.
If kosher, I will get 2 spell slots back with my 2 channel divinities, intending to then use the short rest to get my channel divinities back, not my harness to powers.
Yes, that is accurate. Yep.
Cool.
Because it's half of your proficiency rounded up.
Rare case
Got
of
it.
rounded up.
Got it. Yep, you can recover both of those spell slots, and I don't know if Rome, if you had any spell slots, I think you might be able to recover some as well if you had used anything.
Restore 1 third level spell slot and 1 first level spell slot.
Very nice.
What?
I can't do that.
And is that, out of my own knowledge, is that because it's half your level rounded up?
Yes. Wait, it's
Okay.
called natural recovery.
Michael Jacoby, stop it.
They didn't tell me anything.
Okay. As long as the language is written half your level rounded up or whatever, 4 levels worth of spell slots is wonderful.
Yep.
So very nice. You guys regain some capabilities there. Roulette, does your capability regrow at a short rest, or is that per long rest?
90% certain it's for long rest. I don't get anything at a short rest, I don't think. Hold on, I will confirm that really quick. Long rest is for my...
Okay. So your breath has been expended for now, but got it.
As soon as I sit down, I weird couple of things have happened. So I'm mostly sitting down and reflecting on the past like 15 minutes, and one of them being, hey, I just attuned to this new item and used it successfully, and
Oh my god, yeah.
And are you reading the fine print at this
it's weird
point?
magical things. So I am going to ritually cast Identify on it again, mostly because I'm just interested and I'm thinking like, oh, this did one thing. I want to see if it could do 2 or 3 or 5 things. And I'm going to ritually cast Identify on it again.
Which you are welcome to do. And as you pour your intelligence, your awareness into this item, you almost get lost and drawn into this crystal of beautiful Feywild skylight. And as you like are drawn into it, you can see different like stars alight in the twilight sky off in the distance, and you can see almost representative of the innumerous possibilities of the chaos this thing can conjure forth. And then you also get a sense of the fine print of how that thing can be utilized by certain individuals, and you're like, well, that's not me,
And I think, and Toby, because you were caretaking and being attacked by Roulette, you were probably the only one who notices. But when I attuned to it during our walk, it was like a crystal shard gem that I put right in the center of the chest plate. You see me take it off to Identify, and I slip it into the bag of holding, and it's no longer on my breastplate.
Understood.
Is Roulette trying to be subtle about hiding that? I'm curious if I'm going to allow Toby Rahman to get some passive insight off of that. Not just passive perception, seeing it happen, but reading facial cues, things like that. Actually, Rome as well.
Roulette is, she's definitely, you see, and this is more for Toby than Rome. You've seen Roulette do like Identify and like be like head down in a book working on something.
And in general, there's like sometimes like a momentary like, oh, that's what that is.
There's usually, it's actually very funny you say that, and I'll talk to you about that after. There's usually a lot of like passive emotion that happens, of just like thinking out loud, eureka moments, crossing stuff off. She's very stoic and like flatline emotion and weird about it. When she's identifying it, using her tools, and then putting it away, she's very concerned is I think a good word to put there. But it ends up back in the bag of holding, and then she tinkers with Alfie to passively clean him and work on him.
Perfect. Okay, well, you guys
Dree-
after
Well, can I do something real quick? Drew's gonna sit down
absolutely.
next to Talperion and like offer his water skin or his this flask. He's been like chugging it, and he's gonna say, "Hey, Talperion, after we have our vacation, what do you think about actually how's your search for your elf friends going?"
Not ideal. What have I really found? A book I can't read up north in Austenis. A half-elf sun-elf descendant who I can't talk to in Austenis. A dragon who looks like a sun-elf who can't tell me much about them. I think a dragon. And all I know is they're not in Creatia, so both good and bad.
Well, I guess that's good that you can cross off Creatia. Have you ever thought about looking in Durast, maybe?
I'd be shocked if they went there. Aren't they all about humans?
Yeah, but maybe they're like the least likely place you'd ever want to look. That's exactly where you're gonna find them, you know? You ever like find something where you didn't expect it to be?
I found a friend in you, and that's not what I would have expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe, I was thinking, maybe we should go check in Durast.
Wonder. I mean, I especially would love to go back to Ostennis, and they were invaded by Durast, and they were right on the border, so that could work. Could work. The other thing is, I wonder if the creation. I keep saying creations. I think Chimerans. I wonder if the Chimerans would want us to go. Because if you want to go for some reason,
Why wouldn't they? Wait, why wouldn't they want us to go?
I'm just saying maybe we could like make some kind of mission with them that they would want us to go. We could double
I
up
mean,
with it.
yeah, more reasons to go, the better. I just feel like that's the way we should go. You know what I mean?
Why?
Well, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff we gotta do there. We gotta go find Jean again, get your sword back, and then like, if we're right on the border, might as well just go check in Duras to see if we can find your elf friends.
So both those reasons are my reasons for wanting to go, but what are yours?
Oh, I need to go there, so like, I don't want to go there by myself.
For Jiri reasons? For Jack's reasons?
Not for Jerry reasons, and my dad reasons, Adras reasons.
Right, the voice in your head.
Yeah, he wants me to go there.
Why?
That's a good
To
question.
find who did this to us.
Oh
You
yeah,
hear in your
to
mind.
find who did this to us.
Amazing.
Did what?
Oh, who killed my dad? Jajakar. That's who killed him. So probably Jajakar's. My dad's telling me he's probably there.
Alright, here, let me ask a question. And I want to talk to your dad. So just translate what he says.
Dad, do you hear that?
Because I know he's in there, I've heard him.
You just
Okay.
hear like a growl in the back of your mind, Jiri.
He says he's ready.
If your name isn't Audrus, what is it?
He wants to know what your name is if it's not Adras, but if you know, it's definitely Adras.
Jiri, as you recall, I do not remember my name or my memories or my histories, just as you are fractured. We need to make our way to Durast to retrieve those memories however we can.
Oh right, yeah. So my dad doesn't remember his name. He's got memory issues just like I do. So we're gonna go together to find our memories. I guess we lost a lot of them in Durast. So we're probably gonna while we're looking for your elf friends, we can look for our memories.
Let me ask your father another question. Am I talking to Jax?
He wants to know if you're Jax.
My patience grows thin. Jiri, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a force of will. Which could be willpower, wisdom based, but I would like a charisma saving throw. This is a high DC.
Ooh,
And
24.
just shy of a 25, you see Jiri's like body crook a little bit, and you see like black inky tendrils kind of crawl up like blood vessels becoming visible up his neck, across his eyes. And Jiri, your eyes go black. You still have vision here, but your mouth opens, being puppeted by something other than you. And all of you, for the first time, I think, other than perhaps Telperion reaching into the mind of Jiri in the past, I don't recall if you've heard this voice before,
I have.
Yeah.
but you hear a different voice that is not Jiri's say, "This will be easier for a time. What questions do you all have?"
Are you the little gray man underneath him?
And I am going to change the music up a little bit.
See, we don't need mind reading.
We can induce a coma.
What gray thing are you referring to? I have no form. I am fluid. I am ever present. I am all.
It's a lot of titles you wield.
Yes. though I am trapped within the confines of Jiri's body. At first, I rejected his incompetence, his sheer stupidity, but in honesty, he has gained competence in what he does. He is aided by my magics in swordplay and arcane capabilities, but he has complemented my own capabilities.
So you want out?
Yes. Jiri and I need to make our way to Durast, where I believe the witch of those dungeons somehow concocted some foul magic and bound us to each other.
Whose dungeons?
That witch, Moira.
Moira, of whom? Of whose dungeons?
I cannot remember. I believe it was the dungeons under the city of Daenor. Perhaps. I do not know all of the prisons that occupy the subterranean depths of that place. But Jiri came upon me, well, no. Jax came upon me one fateful evening and reached out, and we became one. Although it seemed to have damaged me and Jiri, sundering our memories and our senses of self.
Are you his shadow Moby that he speaks of then?
Jiri, in my observations, either does not have the knowledge base or perhaps is deluding himself by calling me Shadow Moby at times when he manifests me as steam outside his body, or referring to me as his father, Adras. I am no Adras. That is not my name, though I cannot remember what my name is. Jiri is looking for direction. And Jiri, you're hearing all this. You're sentient in this moment, but you're, even in your attempts to speak, are unable to speak, but you are seeing, hearing all of this through your own body. It is a surreal experience. Jiri is concocting fallacies on which to rely, but he is getting much of it wrong, I fear. But I don't have the answers either. We must make our way to Durast.
Question.
Although over-eagerness was Jax's downfall, I fear. There's a line to walk there somewhere. But yeah, Toby Rama, what is your question?
I was gonna ask in general a gameplay idea question. I have and I was gonna state it I have a leaning idea and want to make an insight check, and I was wondering if it almost kind of made sense to me it might be at disadvantage because I've already formed an idea and confirmation.
Well, I'll say this. Insight check can be, first of all, absolutely applicable. I would say the DC is going to be adjusted depending on if you're on the right track, maybe it's a lower DC. If you're off the mark entirely, it might be a higher DC to interpret what's going on here.
So I was going to say this seems annoyed and frustrated, but due to those things, forthcoming and maybe honest is too direct a word, but I'm wondering if any of this is catching me specifically as seems falsehood. This Toby I think is seems very forthcoming of this thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely, go ahead and give me an insight check, and we'll see what happens with this. With a 16, it's a very odd experience because you're used to reading facial cues for people you know, indications of, oh, that person does this. Jiri's eye twitches when he lies, or he has the sense of kind of extra posture when he's confidently telling the truth. None of those tells are available here because it's not Jiri puppeting his own face. However, based on the information, although you think this is a rather self-seeking individual, actually rather similar in mentality to kind of your experience with Jax, it certainly doesn't strike you as anything obviously false about its words.
Okay.
Not knowing you were doing that, the last thing I heard was downfall. What happened to Jax then?
That is an interesting question. And my own memories are damaged in that regard as well, because I remember we made it to For's Hollow. We avoided the gaze of the Durastians there, occupying it. They were not particularly duty-bound, believing For's Hollow to be below them, not worth their time. They were not quite diligent in their occupation of it. For whatever reason, Jax was eager to complete his mission and travel northward. But after he buried the axe in your friend's tombstone's location, there was a scout regiment of the Durastians that made their way there, and Jax was forced to hide. And then he passed out as my own senses and awareness were pulled in two different directions. Downward, inward. I felt Jiri's sense of self manifest and call me to his aid, and yet Jax's did the same. And I was split and pitted against myself. I don't quite remember what happened next, but Jiri awoke out of the bottle. I think I might have carried him back to Corital. But it was not my own will, but his, subconsciously guiding me there. But Jax was no more after that. I fear he is buried somewhere within us. Perhaps regaining strength, but not enforcing his will. Yet.
I think to Kobe and Roulette, is there anything you want to ask this thing?
We haven't established good like facial cues or anything to like indicate to you answers back. I'm like, so Toby's like
Aerodon sign language.
Toby hears that and then like gives like a very pensive nod no, but clearly like thinking through things, but no to your question.
Same thing from Roulette, just like contemplative no.
It wastes my strength maintaining this composure, and I promised Jiri I would not subvert his own will for long. I feel my time is waning here.
Well, know this. It's pretty crowded in there, I assume. But make room for me because I'll be back soon. So don't fight me when I'm in there. If you want my aid, I'm not going to give it freely. We'll be partners in this. Because I want you out of Jiri. I don't want him to be harmed. And I will be investigating and checking in. I will tonight.
You
Fight me not.
Telperion have aided Jiri an adequate amount since he has met you. But you had no such interest in aiding Jax when he allied with me in our pursuit to the north. So, I am unsure whether to place any faith in you, but I will keep this in mind. And you see a flicker of blackness receding to Jiri's true eye color, and slowly the inky tendrils of blood, like sludge under Jiri's skin, fade. And as soon as they retreat from your throat, Jiri, you feel control once more of your own voice.
Whoa. That was weird. Got Daddy angry.
Did you hear all that?
Daddy angry?
Yeah,
That's what you
sounded
want to
very
say.
angry.
That's what you got to
he's,
say.
He's got a stern hand.
Yeah, see, that's why I gotta go back to Durast.
Your
I guess
friend
that
is
is-
troubled. There's something wrong with him.
That's not
Unnatural.
Questions.
No.
Yeah, Rome, what was your sense of all that?
I think he is troubled.
Theory
Many
of the thing.
souls in one. Many souls in one body. That can't be good. Unnatural.
Jerry, how you feeling?
Tired. Very tired. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what I gotta deal with all the time. You know what I mean? Like, my dad's always yelling at me.
I think it's been a good amount of time since any of us doubted you in the way we did initially, but it is always.
Yeah, you should
helps-
believe me.
It always helps us to learn how to treat you better when we learn more about this.
Yeah, you should believe me. I don't lie to you guys.
We've believed you for quite some time now.
Jerry, I truly believe you don't lie on purpose. I want to look at Kinsalo and see what his take is right now.
Kinsalo is asleep on the ground. He has taken a point of exhaustion. He is extremely tired, has put himself through a lot mentally and physically in the last period of time, and he is just like dozed off in a corner. And this phenomenon you all just experienced was not loud by any means. It was just a conversation, so it was not enough to wake him. He is restfully sleeping against a log right now, just propped up, not like long rest type setup, but just propped up sitting against a log and little shut eye.
Now that everybody knows I'm weird, don't tell Kinsalo.
We don't want to frighten him off. Jerry, does that hurt?
Yeah, it didn't feel
father's
good.
Does your father's presence like harm you?
No. He gives me some powers, you know what I mean? So that I can be strong enough to reclaim his throne. But you heard him. We gotta figure out his memories first. And my memories. Lots to do.
Alright, well, let him know that Austinus and Durast, Dano, are on the list of places to go.
Yeah, but not too hasty. We gotta take a vacation first.
What was Jax's mistake, as your father mentioned?
Perfect. Okay, well, you guys are able to successfully complete your short rest. So any short rest things you gain back, features, spell slots for those that recovered them, hit dice can be rolled. Jiri and Kinsalo do not recover a point of exhaustion. You guys are still exhausted for the moment.
D8.
All right, who's carrying me? I'm too tired to walk.
And your constitution fire.
I would offer, buddy, but I think that's what did me in the first place, carrying you around.
Alfie will prostrate his ostrich self in front of Jiri, asking him to board.
Ooh, nice. I don't know how this works. Where do I sit?
I don't. Alfie, you sure you can handle it? And Alfie just like gestures to like the top part of the ball.
I love that Alfie did that of his own volition.
All right, Elfie, let's go.
So as soon as you mount Alfie, as mounted combat states, you can only successfully fully mount a creature that's a size larger than you. So you get on Alfie and you immediately see his little segmented hinged legs buckle a little bit and struggle to keep you up. He's carrying you, but at half speed.
Yeah. So it's slightly slower than us, but he's carrying you.
I'll try and I'm assuming Tilperian is gonna be like keeping an eye and like taking a lead on this whole L tree root thing, and I'll try and help you, and be like, we were heading this way, and just try and help you lead the way.
Salo, are you all right to walk?
Yeah, I should be all right. I might take to wing a little more often, but yeah, I should be good to continue on.
Jerry, you can walk, right?
Yeah, maybe I'll just have Elfie like help support me. Maybe we can go arm and wing.
Alfie's still walking. He's just gonna keep carrying you if you want.
I like hop off
Perfect.
and like kind of half like kick a little bit and like but like lean most of my weight on him.
Can I tell if he's like
Perfect.
hamming it up or if he's actually like past the point of being able to walk? I'm gonna check is that.
Yeah, I feel like that's an insight from you, and then whatever it is from Jiri, if it's real or persuasion or fake
Well.
deception, whatever you're feeling like
Yeah, you
rolling.
gonna milk it?
I mean,
Jerry's tired.
The 12 on my end.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that like he's milking it, right? Like he's a little bit, he's like acting like a spoiled prince, right? You know, like
Jerry, you're being a spoiled prince, and I'm not gonna carry you. I know that's what you're after.
Come on, Talpirion, just one quick piggyback ride.
No.
I hate walking.
You've never cooked, and we're carrying your things. Well, let's carrying all your things for you. You can carry yourself at the very least.
Jiri has been holding it in for 40 sessions, and he can't deal with walking anymore.
So
Fine.
tired.
You'll get to rest in like 1 hour.
This is the most exercise I've ever done in my entire life.
It's good for you. You'll be faster. Onward, everyone. Tired much.
Perfect. Well, as you guys get up from your short rest, a little more recuperated, do we want to take a bio break there real quick?
Sure.
Sure.
I'm going to go fill up on some coffee real quick.
Dang. Talk to Daddy Audris. Out in the
Oh,
open.
cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I did not anticipate it to be that eventful of a short rest.
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. Okay, see you guys in a second.
MK. Literally just like all of this.
I was during the week. I never pulled up my character sheet, but I remember I either had. I knew it was lesser restoration or remove curse prepared. I was like, I feel like it's good for me to try that if I notice it, and lesser restoration got fair. I mean,
Apparently.
sure.
God.
Very funny. Yeah, it almost like made me wish that it was like one of the other two because of how stark like a height difference it would have been and like much more noticeable, but it was like so minuscule. I was trying to play it like something happened. I don't fucking know what did, but something happened,
mean,
and I think I fixed it.
It's funny because like I feel like you've done that at least once before with like the lesser restoration of just like something's wrong. Let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
And like it's a beneficial spell because you're just like you're restoring your general.
I also, as I was casting it, I looked at it and it just says, blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Oh, I know lesser restoration is not supposed to fix a wild magic surge age reduction. Who knows? Who knows what happens?
Wait, are you still 14?
Oh no, I'm back. I'm
Okay, so you're like fully back.
I think he's fully back.
okay. Stop talking. He's here. Stop. Shh, 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 shh.
Nobody knows though.
Shh, 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 shh. DM's coming.
We didn't say that. What do you mean?
I'm fascinated what you guys were talking about though now.
Critter, I put it in the chat. I was also as soon as I put the gem away, I was working on Jiri's necklace. Nothing too constructive, more just like laying out what I need and everything for it. So,
And as a reminder for myself, what work is going into that?
so Jiri handed me 4 different things. He handed me a dragon tooth, but I might be replacing it with the dragon tail tip because the tooth is like
The tooth is large, yeah.
I thought we said we were gonna figure out a way to shrink it.
Well, you could certainly shrink it. You could also like
Take
chip
a-
off the end of the
yeah.
tooth, and then it's the tip of a dragon tooth. So
So we're
there's
gonna
definitely
do
options there.
something like that. So a dragon bone piece, the silver chicken that he won from the thing, the blue light stone that I gave him, and then I have Toby's ring, but I don't remember what Toby's ring was.
A double ring. It's like a 2-finger ring, you know what I mean? And it's platinum, and it's gonna go on top, like the 2 bands.
I have it like I have it like on top / binding it.
That's the ring that he cast magic through for Tajiri.
Oh, the warding bond.
Warning bond ring.
Oh,
yeah.
you wanted to customize your end of it?
Yeah, so I'm wearing it instead of my hand. I wear it on the necklace.
Oh, okay,
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. And then
This is the other half of warding bond. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. The tooth, I think we also said, because it's like fractured, there's like cracks in it.
We're
And I
gonna
thought
fuse it
we
with
talked about dipping it in gold somehow to like.
To fill in
It's
the
also-
crevices.
It's
Like,
also
you know how they have resin, you know what I mean? You see them make like tables and stuff like.
I know
Yeah, yeah.
exactly
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's super sick. Regarding the platinum ring for the warding bond, are you putting like, shall we say, like a resting spot so that when he casts it, it can be affixed to your thing, or are you trying to permanently put that ring on your necklace?
It's gonna be, yeah, it goes through the chain, right? If you imagine both sides, so like it kind of holds the other 3 pieces of the medallion in place, right? 2 on the side, 1 on the bottom, and then the ring
I
goes on
see.
top. So I was thinking it still counts as me technically wearing it because it's a necklace.
I definitely
That's
agree.
part of it.
Just knowing that it might be removed from the necklace when he wants to do it on someone else. Because someone has to wear that ring, unless Jiri is slyly
doesn't
trying
wanna
to be
believe
like,
it would go
yeah,
anywhere
you can
else.
only do it on me now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a little too late. It's pretty attached.
Yeah, all it says is which you and the target must wear. It doesn't say how you
Yeah,
have to wear a ring.
yeah. I am not worried about the wear
love
restriction.
that.
I'm just so you guys know, Jiri is essentially claiming this.
I could
If,
get more
if
platinum
we,
rings.
but we could make like another platinum ring and give it to somebody else.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yuri
That's
can
not-
claim that. I'll claim the haste, and we're all good.
Yeah. So if it like if somebody if MK if you wanted to cast it on somebody else, you could definitely ask Jerry and he'd like fork over the gold to like.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. Steve, that is perfect.
Kintsugi.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That is totally what I had in mind. That's super sick.
So I've
But
not
for
done
a
anything
dragon
like
too.
that yet. I mostly just
Right.
I was starting to map it out and everything.
Yeah, gotta have all
Love it.
all the 4 golds, you know what I mean? Or the 4 metals.
Love it.
Gold, platinum, silver, and
Your stone, didn't we put it in a casing of copper, right? The wiring?
oh, I did. Yeah, I wrapped the wires around it so that yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget that.
So it's in like a copper wire cradle or something. That's
Like,
super
yeah.
cool.
They sell them on Etsy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a mineral necklace pendant. Love that. Cool. Alrighty. Well, you guys have short rested successfully. Some of you, Jiri and Kinsalo, are still feeling a little tired, but otherwise, a lot of resources have certainly been regained, and you guys are free to proceed.
Onward.
Onward.
One word and plain word.
Onward, I guess.
As soon as we start walking, just very quickly, and this can be at some point, I will drop back and try and get Rome's attention. I don't know how to get Rome's attention because I have just met her in the past like 6 hours.
Break your brain.
I will do, like,
Technically 9, but just to
9
be clear.
hours. Yeah. I will pull her. I will be very like blatantly obvious. And Rome, can I talk to you for a second?
She turns and like as she turns, you can see how she like becomes becomes connected and not connected with everything that's around her. So she's like constantly forming and reforming.
Are you like when we're walking forward? Are you like strafing sideways, like just with your shoulders facing me, but your body's still moving forward? It doesn't have to be
That's not what
that.
I was imagining, but that's hilarious. Like, yes, that should be the case.
I will. Rome, I think we mentioned we spoke about this earlier, but you're at least we think you're not from here, right?
Well, I'm from everywhere. So I guess in that sense, yes, I am from here.
I am nothing if not a woman of technicalities, so I very, very much appreciate that answer. The magic you cast, I saw you did some incredible things. You sped up Telperion, who hardly ever needs it, but you also rumbled up that earth underneath that thing. Do you when you're casting that magic, do you ever find yourself like needing to maintain kind of focus on one magical effect? Like, do you do a lot of different kind of magical things that require your focus or kind of concentration?
Yeah, I would say that a lot of my magical ability requires some attention and connection to the energy source in which I draw from.
Okay. And I will take out the wild magic shard that I had put in my bag. I think you might benefit from having this. Before you take it, it comes with some risks when you use it. So I'd say this is kind of in emergencies only when you really need to use it. But you should take this because it might come in handy at some point. And I will hand you something called the wild magic. No, the wild stone one word space shard.
Okay.
Yeah, which should be addable in D&D Beyond. If you go to, and Tim can help you if you're not familiar with it, but if you go to over manage inventory and you search, you should be able to find Wildstone Shard.
And depending on, and are we traveling for more than an hour?
Yeah, as you guys are talking, or like as this exchange is happening, you can describe to her all the capabilities and such.
So Rome, I will share to you in short that it lets you once a day concentrate on 2 spells. So if you are concentrating on one thing, it lets you then concentrate on the second thing. But because of its, and I'll switch back into roulette, it lets you kind of like split your mind in 2 for just a short bit. I did it before when I was concentrating on the fairy fire, lighting up the bad guys, and then I kind of focused on my mace to empower it. But when you do that, you kind of pull from some sort of wild magic, and it's stored in the stone, and something might happen. It kind of comes with risk of the unknown. Could be good, could be bad, could be something temporary that Toby has to fix that you don't even know what it is. But I don't know, it's weird. It's that stone is not something I thought I could use. It's much more natural magic, wild magic, I'd say. I deal with, I know we don't know each other that well, but I deal in facts, figures, numbers, equations, and specifically runes. And that tool is not something I'm meant to use. So, like I said, hold on to it. Definitely in case of emergency, but I think you're a bit more well suited for it.
Thank you, Roulette. I take it and kind of hold it up in the sun and let the sun's rays glint through it, and I place it in between a couple of my ribs as my like root kind of structure branches kind of grow around it to hold it in place.
Roulette Roulette is enamored by natural pockets. I love it.
I will use this only when I need to, as I do not want to damage this live's psychic energy.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I appreciate the aversion to unneeded, unnecessary risk, because I find myself kind of going headfirst into a lot of situations.
I kind of sidle into this conversation.
No.
I'll say, Rome, you don't know this, but I'm kind of the natural one of the group, but you've kind of got me beat, like, in every imaginable way. And I also don't really do magic, but you might find this helpful too, since this is gifting to Rome time. And I'll offer you the staff that I took off of the witch, which I don't really know what it does, but I know I think you can cast spells through it. I don't know if there's any other properties here, but maybe you can check it out.
Can I pick it up and investigate it, or like?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and give me a nature check. As Telperion hands you this, like, with an 18, you very quickly kind of ascertain its capabilities. It looks like rotted wood. It's a long, wooden, crooked, bent, warped, gnarled staff that is like sprouting at the top. And its many branches are like in decay, and there's bits and baubles hanging from its little branches, like a charm of a hammer, a charm of a tiny little bird cage, etc. So there's like little charms on it. But you immediately can see that this staff was once beautiful wood and has been blighted and diseased. You do see some like small markings along the shaft that you think you could channel magic through. This could be used as a arcane or druidic focus. However, you know your cloak is a suitable arcane focus, as well as your vase. So you don't necessarily gain much value from this staff, but it certainly is natural in its sense.
I also get the sense that it has been like tampered with, right? Like
very, very much
it was
so.
once natural and now has been like tampered and blighted, as you said. So can I attempt to mend it using my I get the sense that like it can't stay the way that it is, and I don't want to just leave it behind, but I also don't think this is something that we should bring with us because it seems like inherently evil, or there's something kind of like wrong with it.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a general wisdom check as you cast mending. Very good. As you kind of put your wisdom, your natural mentality for balance, for healing, to right what has been blighted, essentially, you cast your mending, and at first the wood starts to creak and split and try to overcome the blighted, like rotten part of the wood, and it's not able to. And as you push further, you see the rot like wisp away like shadow and just drift off into the air, and you have functionally de-rotted this staff.
I do not have a use for this, as I have a way to channel my energy. However, we could leave this behind and see who picks it up next. Perhaps this staff has a path that has nothing to do with us, or perhaps one of us will require it now.
So you don't mean we should like just sell it to someone for gold?
Yeah, Rome, you don't understand this. In our world, things that have value, you gotta sell them to get gold so you can exchange it for like other cool things. Like maybe like a talking flower or something like that for you.
I guess if you insist, if that's the path that this staff must take, we could sell it.
Yeah, let's sell it.
But I will not be the one to sell it. You all can sell it.
Jerry?
Very well.
I think we should sell it. You should hold on to it, Telpiran, though. I'm too tired to carry it.
I'll put it in my quiver. We'll
Cool.
sell it later.
I don't know that I ever made a special item for that in D&D Beyond, but if you typed it in originally as withered root staff, you could now just call it root staff. It has been healed from its blight.
I'll put that in my quiver.
Much more valuable now.
I will remove it from the bag of holding because apparently I had it in the bag of holding.
Oh, leave it in the bag of holding. I don't even think
I'll leave it in there. I'll update it to bomb ass root staff.
Thank you for fixing it. Well, purifying it.
You're welcome.
Fudge.
Okay. As you guys continue on further, whoever's taking lead, I think Toby Ram was suggesting he would help Telperion kind of find your footing and way in this forest. If that's the case, you guys could each give me a survival roll, or Telperion could roll it with advantage.
I'll help you out and also roll.
2 rolls? Okay.
Ooh.
Big fat 0 to this.
10. Telperion, as you're proceeding, you are surprised that you are, in theory, walking up to some version of elven presence, and you have felt no barrier of mythal magic. You have seen none of the kind of general iconography inscribed on trees. There's nothing about this area that has suggested to you elven society or civilization here, which surprises you, and you're eagerly looking for those things and you do not see them. However, Toby Rama, as you I would say, and Rome, as you guys are both, that's interesting.
Are we all making this? Sorry, I thought that was just Telperion making with advantage.
I was asking them too, but with Rome, certainly there's actually a specific bit of information that she will probably pick up on. and I'm going to say, Toby, Rama, you noticed this too with the your experience of living in the wilds for as long as you did and fending for yourself. As you guys are proceeding, you're starting to. It's a strange situation, a strange sensation, because the area ahead as you're walking is not clearing up. It still seems like dense forest ahead, but you're noticeably seeing that the trees are becoming more scarce. They're not as densely packed, and the roots noticeably are like curling up and pulling out of the ground, not actively moving, but are in this state of almost recoiled motion in a way that doesn't seem unnatural, so to speak, but it is unusual. It's like these roots are avoiding something, or have over time grown in a way that they were not able to penetrate and grow out in the typical direction. They are perhaps making way for something beneath the earth. And that is something you just notice as you continue forward. And then Toby, Rama alone. I don't know that that's quite the right vibe here about this.
You're looking for battle music is what you're looking for.
I think I'm looking for no music. As you guys continue to move forward, you hear a voice. Or actually, Toby, Rama, before you hear the voice, you hear the crack of a twig. And another one. And because of the locations of both of those, you realize you have this sinking feeling of, oh no. And you hear a voice out in front of you as I move you to this screen.
I thought you were going to invite someone else.
Ryan Kennedy comes in.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, dogs?
You see an individual step out from a different direction than the two twig snaps you had heard. You see an individual step out that looks something like this.
Oh, shit.
Oh, those shadows.
Halt, scoundrels. What is the nature of your approach to Caer Methrandine?
Peaceable.
I'll try and gesture towards Telperion.
Peaceable.
I didn't understand that. Or
Be
that,
careful.
The word.
I urge care in your response, as we have just come across ne'er-do-wells in our forest, and I'd hate to mistake you for the same.
What if we slaughter those ne'er-do-wells for you?
Does this one speak truth? What kind of individuals had you recently come across?
Wolves.
Some
Wolfmen.
Evil ones.
I guess the term would be lycanthropes. They were half creature and half humanoid, or
The spider newts.
or half
Troll
humanoid.
dude.
Big troll.
Many-headed.
Chasing a big troll.
Just
I
keep
do
talking.
I do not know this word Udinil you speak, but you have confirmed that these individuals did make it as far as perhaps the way you were traveling, which eases my concerns that you may be telling mistruths. However, it is too soon to decide if you have been infected by them. The lot of you, let's take them to Morrigan. And a few other individuals make themselves known as they step out of hidden tree cover.
No, I was already bitten by a wolf. I'm immune now.
Additional forms, very similar in stature to some of the individuals you guys found when you had rescued Kinsalo, and you noticeably see Kinsalo like tighten up as summer and autumnal forms of beautiful elven creatures step forward.
That sword is sick.
I love that sword.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hold on now.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Oh, I never mentioned that Telperion sword looks like that.
Well,
It is- there's-
hold on now. We are, we would like some assurances that you mean us no harm.
That we mean you no harm. This one is amusing. You come into our forest, in our citadel, and act as if we must oblige you some courtesy?
We are.
No, that is not how this works. You will accommodate our request and come with us to our leader, and she will determine what to do with you, and then we can see if you wish to leave.
If we refuse to go, will you drag us there? Carry us potentially?
We may drag, we may beat to a pulp, we may fill your body with arrow shafts before you have the chance to move. I can hint at the fact that my attendants here by my sides are not the only one we have in this forest.
Can I attempt to hide?
You can attempt to hide. What are you doing to hide? You're
like, kinda
just standing
slink
still.
into-
So I think you have to be at least lightly obscured to do so, if I'm
Oh,
not
really? Okay.
mistaken.
Then
So
I
you
guess
are
if
in
I'm
pretty
not- if I haven't
plain
said
view
that,
right
then
now.
Never mind.
Okay. You can definitely passively or almost subconsciously, you could probably your form might start to camouflage itself, but it's not an active hiding quite yet.
Got it. Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the way that's written. Is
No,
when you're
that's-
lightly
that's
obscured, you
definitely
can
correct.
hide as a bonus action.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I know that we bear no ill will. So if you are also upstanding folk, we are happy to oblige.
Very well. Well, if you have slain those foul trappers and come to us with no ill will, then perhaps we can let you go after a bit of questioning. But please, after me.
You have one more question.
Elf blood. Where do you hail from?
Of the Ithawinge, Mooncrest Grove.
Can't say I'm familiar. Is that one of those confounding lots that come into our forest every several years whenever there's some political advancement that happens?
That is indeed the last time I was here. 100 years ago.
Wonderful. I'll make Morrigan aware. Very well.
I would like to ask, is Morrigan, do you take us to the branch of the L tree here?
Oh, the branches of the L tree, Galathor, are thousands of feet above us. You cannot reach them from here. As an elf, if you are who you say you are, you may know that we might have access to one of its roots. But that is perhaps all I will say of the matter now. Anyway, with pleasantries having been exchanged, my name is Minwern. Please follow me.
Type it in the chat.
And I will type both of those things.
MINWAER.
As she had referred to the L tree as Galathor, and she named herself Minwern.
Ooh.
Not even close. Not even close.
And this individual leads you with her back turned to you, arrogantly, not checking over her shoulder with any sort of fearing for her own safety, just walks forward. And whether or not you intend to do so as well, you do see the two autumnal and summer Eladrin kind of flank your sides and your back, ushering you forward. And as you proceed,
Yuri's gonna walk slowly.
Mhm.
Are they kind of handsy, as in they're just pushing him forward, or do they grab him? What's their
They have-
demeanor when he's kind of lagging behind?
That's a good question. Can I have you make let me get to my situation. Can I have you make a wisdom saving throw for me? You push past the sense of fear kind of coming through to you magically from these summer Eladrin. They have this real presence to them that almost like makes you afraid of them even when you don't necessarily feel like you have to be. They are not putting hand on you, but they are walking behind you with a sense of pace that almost like instills you with the required gait to avoid their approach. So they just have a sense of self gravitas that are kind of urging you forward, but they are not putting their sword to you and pressing you forward specifically.
Okay.
But you are not frightened of them specifically.
Oh yeah, elves aren't very scary. I learned that from Talperion.
But as you guys move forward, the trees, after 5 minutes or so, and they wind a bit, going a little off the trajectory that you guys were following, but still roughly in the same direction, you guys come across, you step past some tree cover, and you see building structures, signs of civilization, made from beautiful, large masonry stone, not like simple, small brickwork like you guys might be accustomed to with general masonry in the prime material plane, much larger and grander. However, virtually all of it is cracked and disheveled, and many parts are rubble, with the wilds having grown in and around many of these structures. And it almost seems virtually abandoned. There's no visible signs of motion in this place, except for one taller cathedral-like building off in the distance past some of these structures that seems to have flickering, warm, amber-colored fire flickering behind stained glass windows. And these Eladrin escort you in that direction and slowly up a series of large, wide, not concrete, what's my brain looking for? Marble steps, beautiful, but still cracked in places and not level. They've been sundered and given. This is stone that has seen incomprehensible passage of time, but it has still existed here. And then you push past some additional overgrown civilization as you move up into that space. And as you enter the main cathedral space, which is a little bit nicer than the rest of the surrounding area, I will move you all to here. The inside of this place is prettier than its surrounding terrain and building structures and signs of civilization, but the red carpet is very clearly rotted, and it has faded and like withered through time. There are old rusted braziers that carry orange flame within them, and this space almost seems to be like some sort of meeting hall of some kind. And there are scraps of paper you can see out in the distance on various tables and stuff, but it's all wilted and faded and cracked. It is very old in here, although beautiful. And as Minwyrn leads you all forward, she calls out, "Morrigan, we have some rather interesting individuals we found snooping around. We are waiting to issue any judgment on their whereabouts until we received insight from yourself." And an individual from the front turns around, having been engaged in conversation with individuals at her side, to more Summer Eladrin. She turns towards you and begins to make her way in your direction.
She's so sad.
A winter styled Eladrin with bits of frost on her cheeks and mists of cold drifting off her shawl, and you can see icicles crystallizing on a bow she carries. Fascinating. Please bring them to me. Of course, my lady. And Minwyrn and the others escort you all the way to the front.
I want to whisper to Talperion, Tupiran, are these real elves? Because last time they were fake ones.
I think back to you. Best if we act as if they were.
Christopher, can you do me a quick favor? The dude with
Mhm.
the sexy sword, can you blow him up one more time?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, and Morrigan speaks. I am, as introduced, am Morrigan, head of what remains of Caer Methrandine, which I also had said earlier, and I will now put in the chat.
Not even gonna guess. CAER.
Okay. Oh,
That is correct.
Woohoo!
That is correct. It appears my rangers have found you wandering about our forest. I hope you have a good reason for it, as we have had poachers as of late stalking these forests and wilds and absconding with creatures of various beauty that we would rather them not have. They should be left to thrive within our forest. So, what is the nature of your arrival?
Toby will take a glance at Kinsalo and try and gauge his, like, real brief glance, gauge his state of being right now.
Passive insight is enough to reveal some version of PTSD trauma. There's very, very, very real fear in his eyes. He is moving. He's a person that is, his mannerisms are casual and relaxed and confident. He is very rigid right now, and you can see how dilated his pupils are in this moment. He is on high alert.
Toby will step forward. No, Toby will make it clear he's going to speak. None of us bear any pretense of, frankly, intent here. We are ignorant, and we are not of this realm. We sought out this land knowing of the damage to the children of Remnus, such as we refer to them, and sought to restore them. And having made it here and doing so, we find ourselves unable to return to where
You
we
claim
came
to
from.
have freed the song spirits from what? What is the nature of how you did so? This is amusing to me, at the least.
I'll take out the staff.
And
Well, I will hold the bag open so you could.
As you do so, you definitely see several Eldrin like draw a bowstring and unsheath the first 2 inches of a sword just as you make any motion. They allow you to do so, but just an aura of preparedness.
And I don't think there's any embellishment I'm planning on, so I will just give a very bullet point version of being led astray by this entity that we learned was called Raga, in our defeat over it and subsequent freeing of these spirits. I will specifically not speak to Kinsalo, how we found Kinsalo and the illusions of that. I'll specifically just be almost vague in a way that like implies all of us came here to do this and we have succeeded, and now we're without a way forward.
I'll kind of. Oh, sorry.
You just see like a sly grin come across Morgan's face. Honestly, perhaps what you are saying has some truth to it, because If you were knowledgeable about any of these things, you would not have stated as such. Do you even know what you have spoken? You claim to have defeated Raga, the cage-hearted, Archfey demigod in training to the Queen of Air and Darkness. I do not understand with what brass you make these claims. This is beyond me. How did these people stumble into our forest?
Is she a friend of yours?
Rog, no. She is a blight on this entire plane and has been elusive to track down. We are in the service of Queen Titania. We hold no favor with the Queen of Air and Darkness in this place, especially now at this time of being in the plane of fairy. You have done more service to many of the Sealy court than you could ever understand, and yet you just walk upon into the midst of Caer Methrandine. You are an anomaly, to be sure.
Well, in service to our words, and I had said that I put the staff in my quiver, so I'll pull up the staff and I'll levitate it towards her. This was her staff, which we have attempted to purify, but you can investigate it yourself, and I'm sure
And
mage among you could tell that it had been blighted as well. And my companion here speaks true. This small dragon we saved from her territory. We have other claims to prove our truth, but we sought only a way to depart. We did not seek to play the game of the corpse.
As
we
you
found-
float,
Oh, and we found this one.
And
that-
I say, shut up in your head. And then I
Amazing.
talk over it, and I'll say, and I'll switch to Sylvan, and I'll say, we sought the roots of the El tree to depart, as I believe that I have elvish kin on the other side. And I try to speak over Jiri, and Jiri hears in his head, shut up.
Perfect. You do so, and you float this branch root staff over to Morrigan. And at first, she turns her nose up at it before saying, "Son of Air, keep an eye on them." And she grasps it and brings it close and begins to chant in a language none of you know, except
I do.
Kinsalo
Yeah.
tilts his head for a moment. And you see Frost gather up the shaft of this staff, and you see her eyes go completely blue-white. And as her eyes flicker and fall, you see the icicles gathering on the staff just shatter and drift off into dust and cold mist. At least that part of their story is not inaccurate. The Cage-Hearted certainly wielded the staff recently. Fascinating. And you wish to access the roots of Galathor.
I would.
I need some sort of compelling reason why I may even entertain such a presumptive request.
I would reiterate again our ignorance. We made these claims, and seeing your reaction to them has further convinced me that we are meddling in things we did not understand upon our entry into this realm.
Very well. Well,
Perhaps a gift for I'm not sure the rite of passage here in Caer Methrandine, but is there any sort of toll or something we could pay for access to this tree? I don't know if it's some sort of holy place to you, for which if I apologize in advance if I've crossed some sort of deific line. We're trying to get home, and we come asking for a favor. And
Oh, no, I want to stop Roulette there and interrupt. We have done this slightly out of order. You have revealed to us that we have done a great service to the Summer Court. We have revealed our wish probably earlier than we should, but we sought to do that in earnestness. So there has already been some kind of exchange. We've proven our truth here. Is there anything else you require? Or small
She
favors
tilts her
could be-
head.
small favors could be traded.
And I would like Telperion to roll persuasion with advantage per the aid of your comrades. But they are certainly giving Telperion, perhaps respect isn't the right word, but more so than the rest of you.
Deference.
Probably not full deference either.
I don't know. I just wanted to say a big word.
It was a 19 and a 4, so 18.
Very good. Your tongue in addressing our kind is perhaps lacking, although I am one to appreciate your reverence in our interactions. You have not offended me yet. I will say, if you wish to, and she kind of looks over her shoulder towards this large runic circle that Roulette, even if you don't know the inner workings of much teleportation magic, you can very clearly tell that some of the sequences here are indicative of conjuration, teleportation based magic, like your temporal shunt. It's much, much more advanced and has been permanently bound to this place. But you can tell that there's some sort of gate having been set up there. There is a chance we might allow you passage through the gate to the roots of the Galathor L tree. However, this is not something done lightly. We never activate it from this side. Occasionally those elves in, forgive me, it has been over a century or so, at least on their end. Is House Tiaralin still a thing in your plane?
That's the Forest Watch, right?
It is indeed.
Indeed, the elves of Forest Watch live on the other side.
They have used this before. Usually they send magical communication to preemptively check in their arrival, but we virtually never access the Galathor. We don't need to. It surrounds our everyday. This is not something we've frankly ever allowed non-elven kind, and certainly you plain folk, to access before. But if this is your only way home, or as you see it, there could be a way if you're properly motivated. I will say, it just so happens that you could be of use to us. Because based on our rangers' interactions with the trappers recently, that your band of travelers seems to have encountered recently, I believe those individuals to be members of an elusive guild of twisted villains known as the Selenixians. I'll go ahead and throw that in chat. This organization has pained me for many tides, and it bastardizes the name of Sehanin's ever-shifting moon. And they take it as their own, inviting the beast curse of lycanthropy into their forms. As our brethren have dispersed into the land to eradicate nearby corruption brought by the false queen at this time, we now find ourselves with a rare opportunity to track down this highly elusive group, and yet we have no resources to spare from our own. Based upon the route those individuals were taking through our forest, I suspect they were perhaps journeying to the only other structure nearby, an old abandoned chapel of Oberon. a long gone archfey that we do not believe any longer walks this plane. If you can confirm that their order is, in fact, there, perhaps using it as some sort of temporary base of operations or some such, I ask that you simply bring ruin to them, sunder their numbers, rescue any creatures that they have stolen from these lands, and if I am satisfied with the results, we can allow access to the roots of Galathor. Would something like this be of interest to you all?
If we could define your satisfaction.
And maybe in
One moment.
I'll bend over to Toby. What?
I think I can access and ask questions of those we slayed and maybe get information from them.
I'll bother with that if we need.
As you guys are discussing amongst yourself, she is contemplative for a moment and says, I'll tell you this. One of two or both conditions, should they be met, will allow you permanent, not permanent, it's not the right word, reliable access to our gate to the roots of the Galathor El Tree. Firstly, these trappers are known for evading our gaze and journeying into our forests and surrounding terrain and absconding with creatures that take this place as their home, stealing them away to Astrazalian or some other city and selling them off for profit or worse. If you can return to us, not only free the creatures, but perhaps lead the most beautiful creature you see back to us, that could be a suitable proof that you have done this deed. Or our intelligence tells us that the chief of the Selenixians, who has led their band for some decades, goes by the name of Aeolas. He is an infamously dangerous individual and threatens the balance of this forest with his poaching. If you are able to find him, do not hesitate to end his life, and should you bring the head of this one, that would be a suitable proof as well, I think.
Yes,
Baron, can I ask a question? It's a good one.
My friend would like to speak with you.
Please.
Yeah, whose definition of beauty do you want us to go with?
Jerry, that was an unusually wise question.
Use your imagination. And if you do not have confidence in your choice, perhaps our deal will falter.
Okay, we'll go with mine. Telpyrin's gonna...
Perhaps it may be wise to bring back many of their captured creatures.
Why exactly do you want these beautiful creatures? What are you to do with them?
I cannot say I've ever encountered a being such as you before, Spirit. What is your name?
I am Rome.
What are you? Dryad? Primordial? Seeping into our world?
I have no definition that you would be able to fully comprehend, given your Fey ancestry.
I would take offense at such a presumption, although some of your features don't strike me as far off from elven kin in and of yourself. I will keep my eye on you, Rome. But to answer your question, We merely wish them to be freed to surround our terrain, their home, with their beauty. Their beauty cannot be simply stolen and poached and sold off to civilizations and nearby citadels.
But how do we know that you are not to do the same thing that you claim they are doing to them?
A wise and discerning question, I must admit. However, short of you slaying us here all amongst yourselves, I don't know if you're in the position to pry into our motivations. If you do not trust that my motivations are true, then take action. However, this is my request, and should you require the access you seek, I hope you will accommodate our request.
What is this Aeolas? Elf? Wet? Lycanthrope? Mortal?
I suspect as many of them are beast cursed. And you can tell just everyone's passive insight can flag her just upturned nose at the rejection of being touched by lycanthropy. She seems to just be disgusted even saying beast cursed. Not many have claimed to have seen him. His name and reputation precedes him, I suppose. I imagine if he has risen to the ranks of such foul creatures, he must be dangerous and more proficient in his threatening composure than most. But I don't know that I can give you much more information than that, I'm afraid. He will likely be formidable. Many of our rangers even have journeyed into forests and seen slaughters where it seems Selenixians have ravaged through. Tribes sundered, creatures stolen, habitats ruined, all in the name of the Selenixians under Aeolas.
I imagine they will have quite a different version of events if we speak with them.
Perhaps. You will have my respect all the more if you are able to have civilized conversations with those subhuman beasts.
How come you were not able to solve this problem on your own? You seem like a powerful group of individuals. How come you were unable to rid these beasts from your land?
Once more, this spirit seems to almost seeking to offend. I would not take kindly to it if it were not delightful to encounter a creature such as yourself. I will answer that it is admittedly frustrating and frankly humbling that we have not been able to track them down. In this current time, half of the year, our forces separate, venturing into various parts of our world to eradicate the presence of the Queen of Air and Darkness. So our numbers currently are not exactly formidable enough to sacrifice our own protection of Kaer Methrin to go out on scouting missions or to root them out. But in the summer seasons, I admit we could have put more resources to it, although they frequently seem to peddle their wares back and forth to various places throughout the forests and wildlands beyond. Astrazalian, we have sighted many lycanthropes journeying to that city, and we suspect they have contacts there that buy and sell and peddle these wares, but it is also outside of our purview to stray that far into less natural planes.
Well, you have offered us a way forward on your terms. We have made our circumstance known to you, and you've been merciful in allowing us a chance to prove ourselves, and we look forward to doing so.
A most reasonable response. Well,
If you could just point us in the direction of this chapel, I'm sure my friends and I would clean it up and report back with a veritable menagerie of beasts to grace your beautiful lands here.
very well. Well, we have already freed one such beast from their clutches. We have no interest in those disgusting creatures they have domesticated and ridden throughout the forest, those multi-limbed newt creatures. It's a disturbing process, I imagine it took to train such beasts. But they had stumbled onto a young Zaratan, and we had to free it from their clutches. We removed them of this individual and set it free into the woods, and that is where they began to journey further south, and I imagine where you found them, according to the ranger's understanding of their route they took. I suspect no more than a day's travel southeast of here lays the abandoned chapel of Oberon.
Any chance no, you don't like riding beasts. I'm just gonna forget that I said that. I cast Gift of Gab.
Do you have Gift of Gab?
No.
Okay.
Steve cast Gift of Gab.
Amazing.
Well, we have been journeying already for quite some time, so I would say all we ask is perhaps outside of Kaer Methrin here, a safe space to recuperate, and we will make haste.
I can promise you we will not assault you unless we decide you are of some threat to us. We will offer you no abode. We have just met you. We have no idea if we can trust you. Perhaps you will die slaughtered by the Selenixians. Although I am personally optimistic in your ventures. I think your only way home should be proper motivation to rise to the occasion. You are welcome to camp in the surrounding forests around our area, but you will not take residence within our halls, if that is what you ask. And yes, tell Toby Rama what's going on.
Insight on only way home. Was she convincing when she said your only way home?
Sure, give me an insight check.
Yeah.
I'll give her a roll as well.
Damn.
Although I gotta get to her
-3
block. Yeah, she does not have a -3.
The leader has -3 to charisma.
Whether persuasive or deceptive, once again, you are almost frustrated by you are skilled at reading people, and these people are so foreign to you. You're not familiar enough with their mannerisms to read them very well, and it's frustrating probably to you, but you don't immediately get any cues of deceit or confident truth. You don't know what to make of that information.
Word.
Before we go, I would like to. What is your status with Queen Titania? Are you in her court? Where do you lie?
We hold no high station, if that is what you ask. However, we and all the other Eladrin of these forests are her mere vessels, her disciples. We enact good throughout the land and try to, as I've stated, eradicate the influence of the foul, unseelie wherever they roam. So I
And-
think Titania would smile fondly upon us, but we hold no specific political position as you plain folk may be used to.
And Raga was of the Archfey in training. to
Yes,
be Queen of Air and
she
Darkness.
was a foul creature that has been rumored to be studying under the Queen of Air and Darkness for centuries.
Mhm.
She is no ally or kin of ours.
Well, slaughtering her, saving the children of Remnis, and then killing the unseelie who stole your creature were all benign acts, which we undertook with little other motivation than seeking to do good. But if we shall form an accord with you, then I would like it passed up the chain to Titania that we are friends of the Sealy.
Perhaps. Let us start with your mission and see if you even earn access to our portal.
I think you understand that if we did kill Raga, it should be a small act.
You don't need to roll anything. I'm going to roll something. She, at first, you see a twinge of surprise at your kind of sure-footed, just stating the facts, but almost in an intimidating way. And you see her curiously regard you. You're not sure if you amused her or struck a chord in a way that made her feel you guys are a serious threat to her and her people, but you definitely got a reaction from that. Your passive insight's not enough to overcome what that is, but it's enough to see something. Very well. Well, off with you. I hope you are eager to complete the task at hand.
I look at Kinsalo. I think we are eager to be going.
He just nods in agreement. Very well.
Go.
Toby will bow and exit.
You hear a small chuckle from under her breath as you do that.
Alfie bows, Roulette doesn't.
I don't bow.
Perfect.
I'll nod my head, and then I no bow.
Well, you all are free to retreat from the hall. Noticeably, two of the summer Eldrin do escort you out from behind, and you see a couple autumnal Eldrin lining the walls of this place as well. So it seems, although somewhat desolate and abandoned as like a ruined city almost in general, this hall has been upkept a little bit more than the surrounding terrain, and there's definitely enough individuals here to be intimidating to some regard. You think maybe
No, that ain't shit.
if a fight were to break out, you're not sure how that would go in whose favor, but certainly you have successfully persuaded them into some sort of a deal.
Joke's on them. We love killing wolves.
Yes, we do.
You guys are able to slowly make your way out. And
Were we out of earshot yet?
I will switch up the music and then
Yeah, I waited
yes.
until we were out of earshot to say that.
There's a lot of out of earshot things to be said.
I will say the Summer Eldrin kind of escort you to the threshold of the top of those masonry or the marble steps, kind of guarding your entrance back into the hall, standing there at position. And they simply look at you guys, but you guys are welcome to journey down the steps without escort and then outward through this ruined city you find yourself within. and it's a small city. Calling it a city is not quite representative of this. It's more of a ruined, overgrown keep, or even smaller than a town. And in Telperion, your knowledge of their mention that the House Tiarlin comes here very infrequently, as you know, but if this is their reflection version of their city, it almost lines up in the fact that House Tiarlin is the oldest and also the smallest established city of the Ethelwinge. And you're not necessarily surprised that that reflection would also be small and ancient looking. You're kind of maybe surprised how ancient this looks, but certainly looks older than the Shade Merc area of the Emerald Forest where House Forest Watch is. You've been there before. Seems way older and more ancient than that, but you kind of put it together of, oh, okay, this must be that reflection because it is smaller than what you would expect an elven city to be. But you guys are able to slowly make your way out of this civilization establishment, and you are definitely out of earshot unless there are prying eyes and trees and other locations nearby.
Okay. A lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say quietly, I do not trust them one bit. And also, they started it with those nasty comments calling us plain folk, and they're totally interfering with our cosmic path. So how dare they?
I'm 100% with Rome.
That then poses. Let's zoom out a bit. That poses a question of a Roman, and perhaps your way of thinking, a forked path. Do we trust them and this being our only way home, or do we seek out another way? We have already sought out the way we came here, and that was successful. We should definitely not be hasty in ruling out another way home. I in no way trust them either. Implicitly. It is something to think about.
Aren't there many roots of the L tree? Cannot we can't we find another route to travel through?
It looked really far away. I don't know.
Would we expect it to be unsimilarly habited? Habited is
habitable? Inhospitable? Similarly inhospitable? Yeah.
Inhabited.
Oh, got it.
I mean,
this would require a journey of 2 days.
Forward back.
So then, if a 2-day journey is what it is.
Well,
I have a fear that there will be intelligent people at any of the routes, as they are, I assume, some kind of nexus of magical energy, and fairly unlikely to be simply unattended. But let me think for a moment. Do I know, like, Thanatar, 2-day journey to any of the other Elvish homes, or?
Well, it's funny you mentioned Thanatar, the Thantawar, because the Thantawar are almost irrelevant in this discussion because they are the most recently founded house, and they are far to the east of any of the other Ethelwingi places, because that is who the Cloud Swift elves established to try and go tend to the area where the burning of the Emerald. However, then we get back to Cloud Swift. So, you know where Caneloft was. Tiarlin was the closest to that and the furthest south.
And you know, now, right?
Yeah, you're on the reflection of that, but yes, you know, the closest thing would be, in theory, due north, which would be, this is one of the few city reflections you probably know of, Cendrien, which is the reflection of the Moonset Grove, but that would be several days north. And then, you know, west of that would be the reflection of the Cloud Swift elves.
one thing I'd like to caution. I assume someday you will all go to my home. And I don't know that you'll find the elves to not be a little haughty. So I would be cautious to read these elves' haughtiness, and these elves are even more ancient and mythic than my people among humans. So I think a little bit of arrogance is actually to be expected, and to not find that would be suspicious. We did, in fact, meet Eladrin, who were very welcoming. They proved not to be Eladrin. So I actually take the arrogance as reassuring. But, Rome, if we find the rest of this, I say in your head, Rome, if we find this Aeolas and they don't seem to be who they've been painted as, maybe we can subvert the request that was made here. And then out loud, I'll say, but perhaps any other plans we make should be after we rest. And I look around, and I kind of want the subtext to be, I don't know if we have privacy right now.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, and my subtext being, I mean, to communicate to you all by my shifty look around that, like, people might be listening to us.
Yeah, you're also indicating, hey, guys, we might have eyes on us. Yeah.
11 perception.
Okay. Nothing of note that you see around you. But you have definitely been able to indicate that to your allies.
Do I get a sense that I feel a presence or no?
I'll give you a perception check as well. Nothing is flagging your passive perception, so if someone is out there, they're not. Wow. Wow.
Line sense.
Even without detecting motion or sound, it's kind of almost like that sixth sense when you can tell someone's looking at you. You can just feel that looking around the crevices of this abandoned ruins. Yeah, there's probably people around here that are not visible but present. And this place is rife with geometries that could easily conceal positions too.
But before we go slaughter these unseelie, we need to rest, right? Shall we do that?
I'm too tired to kill wolves right now.
I do indeed.
Yes, let's rest.
So I guess we can rest here, yeah.
The only reason I'm on board with this mission is because we get to kill wolves. That's it. Otherwise, I'd say let's sneak in there. But
Jerry, that's where my mind was going too, sneaking right back in. But I think let's at least go see what these wolves have about them. Maybe we don't kill them. Maybe we just, and I'm whispering this. No, maybe part of the deal was getting their zoo animals back. So maybe we get the beasts back, bring those back, tell them we murdered Aeolas and all of his crew. We'll see what happens.
As we know, elves don't sleep very much, so I think being true to our deal, whichever one of the two we made, is a wise idea.
She did say one or both from listing off the things on the checklist. So we return with a bunch of beasts. We pay our toll. Yes, Jerry.
what if we went back to those dead wolves and those dead beasts, and we just brought them all back, and we're like, they were all dead?
I do agree with what Telperion and Rome have subtly nudged at us, that there are likely ears listening to us, and we should get a nap in right now and get on the road and discuss those ideas in the morning.
Did I say that pretty loudly?
Would Jerry have said it pretty loudly?
Yeah, probably. I think he exclaimed it, his plan.
Okay, I think that's probably exactly what happened. Yeah.
Yuri, you know how when you brainstorm,
but you saying that doesn't mean arrows are loosed in your direction or anything. So, but you haven't been quiet.
Jerry, you know how when you brainstorm, you always have to get the shittiest ideas out first? You can always rely on you for that.
Brains.
Rude.
Brains.
Rude roulette? Yeah, you're good with the storm. You always help us break the surface until we get to the good ideas.
I'm sorry I called you ugly in front of your elf friends. It was just like the first thing that came to mind.
Amazing.
Apologies.
Okay, well, if you guys are intending to kind of give a little bit of birth away from that ruined civilization to some degree and set up camp, I will go ahead and move you guys to this screen just for fun. Just to give us something
Just
to have
casually
in the background.
It's just a combat grid, you know. It's just casual.
Just to have on in the background while you guys do a long rest.
Casual.
There we go.
But you have the night to yourselves. What are you all thinking of doing? Or the night is misleading, but you can still see the strands of twilight sky kind of filtering in from above. Yes, Roulette.
I am casting Enhance ability, and I am tinkering with Alfie for as long as possible to get 0.5 additional days on this fucking project.
That's amazing. You are absolutely able to do so. You cast Enhance ability on your intelligence, and you start working on him. I'm trying to think if there's any tangible things we need to resolve as part of that.
There
Go
haven't
ahead
been,
and give.
but sure.
Yeah, I'll say based on what you're trying to do, this is
specifically
equally Arcana and intelligence-based sleight of hand. Like there's tinkering here, but there's also understanding of magic here. So I would say you could pick which roll you want to make, and those would be with advantage.
What would I do first, mechanical or magical? I would do mechanical first. So,
Okay.
What is that? It's
Well, it's your tinkering. It's a tinkering check, and you're proficient with that, which means you have expertise with that, which means I think it's basically a sleight of hand check with advantage, or more because of expertise.
It's
I
not
guess.
advantage. So if I'm using tools I'm proficient with, I get to double my proficiency. So it's
But the advantage comes from enhance ability that you cast on yourself, though.
Oh, so it's actually hold on, I'm just gonna write this out. 2d20 2d20 plus
6 plus, because
6
double
plus
proficiency.
plus 8.
Ooh.
So
19.
What's the 6 makes sense because it's double proficiency. What's the extra plus 8? My brain stopped.
no,
Oh,
so
you're
it's,
saying plus additional stuff.
so it's plus 2 for dex,
Plus
plus
8
3 for
total.
plus 3 proficiency, plus 3 proficiency, an advantage because of enhanced ability.
19.
19.
Okay. With a 19, you definitely make progress. This is the part that's going to come easier to you anyway. You are a mechanical-minded person. You're very talented when it comes to like arcane understanding, but you were built helping fix your dad's toys and things around the village. So you definitely make progress on the mechanical hinges and those components. Half a day of progress.
Got it.
Although this is mentally draining activity after having still pushed on further in this day. So I do want one more con save, actually.
To make sure
Which
she
you
still has
can. Yeah.
to make sure she still has it, she's gonna make it with advantage.
You are able to do so.
That's a good idea.
And
20.
that is a good idea. With a 20, you push past the feeling of exhaustion, trying to further addle your mind, and you are fairly successful in your couple-hour work of Alfie. What's everyone else doing? Is there any other things you guys are trying to do before bed?
Hey, Topian, real quick. You still got that torch? Yeah, let me get it going.
The dead one?
Yeah, and I will take 50 of my 100 ruby gold dust, and at 4th level cast Continual Flame.
4th level, which means it can penetrate things such as darkness.
And cannot be dispelled by
Fucking
lowest
yes.
level.
Holy shit.
I was waiting until we were done with the day so I didn't waste a 4th level spell, but I will use a 4th level spell to cast Continual Flame.
Toby, you know this means that we're getting attacked in the night and you're going to need that spell. But
If me casting that spell is what caused it, shit is rigged.
it's fair. Wonderful, thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's just you gotta re-up it.
I'll use it tonight.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had it, so.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is a brighter flame than previous.
That's very exciting. I put it in my pack for now. I'll use it tonight.
Okay.
When I watch.
Do you guys wrap it up in something to
All
like
you have
stow
to-
the light?
All you have to do is just put a piece of cloth over it.
Right, but then the cloth's just gonna fall off. So you like, there needs to be something to like tie it in theory, or like, I don't know. But yes, you can literally put it with a cloth on it in the bag of holding or whatever you guys want.
Tonight I'll work on some kind of braid or something to seal it and tie on the cloth with it.
You're probably pretty
Okey
proficient
dokey.
with knots and stuff like that, so you can do one that's very easily rip-offable. So that is done. Continual Flame at 4th level is on that torch. Very, very cool.
Elves are
How about
natural
Rome?
Boy and Girl Scouts.
Yes. How about Rome? We haven't seen Rome sleep before. What is Rome's kind of end of a day start to rest routine look like?
So this is her first day of her next iteration of her life. So I would imagine that Rome is kind of quiet at the end of the day, and kind of goes about mending little things in the environment as a therapeutic meditation on why she was awoken in this moment in time and what her path is, and kind of as she's knitting together the fragments of nature, it's almost like a metaphor for her trying to knit back together her memories of what happened prior to her being captured or contained within her vessel.
Very cool. I will say, as you are kind of winding down for the night, give me an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Intelligence. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so 8 total. So far, you're trying to almost knit together your memory, see what else you can get. And all that keeps coming back to you, other than this last image of Odion, your old friend, reaching out to the Divinor vase and chanting some magic, and you feeling yourself pulled into the vase. You just see nearby, that haunting image of a destroyed, shattered, sundered, broken clay vase. And you know that to be your previous reliquary, your previous vessel. It's a familiar sight. You wish you got more memory, but still just the repeated vision of that comes to you as you're trying to remember.
Thank you.
How about anyone else? We did some Toby. How about Jiri? What's Jiri up to? Anything specific?
Yuri's gonna head over to Toby tonight and be like, "Hey, Toby, you wanna talk to some people?"
Talk to some people?
Yeah, with your mind.
Oh, yeah. No, I can do that. I think twice. I can do that twice tonight.
Ooh, who are we gonna talk to?
Well,
I now have to be ready for this every session of our entire lives.
if I have it
and
prepared,
I love it. If you have it prepared, and I love it.
I do have it prepared, and I am at 1 out of 3 third level spell slots. I've used my 4th, so I can't use that one. So I have 2 uses available.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Oh, that's-
Jean and
Well, we know we've given some hope to Gene.
Oh, maybe somebody that knows Kinsalo to let them know we found him.
We did let Altari know about Kinsalo.
Did we? Oh.
Did we?
I sent a message to. I'm pretty sure it was Altari about Kinsalo.
Toby sent a message and received a message. And you also sent a message to Ira and got a very confusing response.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's on my ripped off piece.
One of those I mean, piecing it together with like tiny bit of free exposition. One of those messages seemed to pretty successfully breach the nature of the chaos of this plane. One of them maybe was sped up or slowed down or something.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I say Gene and Moby, the real Moby. Remember Kid Moby? Let's see how he's doing.
Why don't you do Rebecca or something?
Holy shit.
Oh, Telperion, hey, what's up? Oh, didn't see you over there.
Am I not close enough to hear this? Were you guys doing this away from me? I told you to leave Gene alone.
We have been bothering Gene. It sounds like he's
in enemy territory.
working through it right now.
Jiri notes to self do this not near Telperion ever again.
Ask Rebecca how Fool's Hollow's doing in the ruins.
Or Gene.
Not
Got him to be our
Rebecca.
super spy.
Not Rebecca. Rhea is who I'm thinking of. Okay, we could ask Gene. Who else? Any other ideas? Because I don't know that I'm gonna have this able to do tomorrow. So
Yeah, we don't have a lot of friends.
What about that librarian that liked you?
Oh
would
yeah.
would you mind if I?
Salad.
Is there anyone we can talk to who might know a way out of the Feywild? Not just to say hi.
VR salads.
What?
Make an intelligence saving throw to see if that just
Yeah.
fucking confused the shit out of me.
Yeah, I'll just post it in the chat because Jiri said it correctly.
Oh, that's right.
No, Jiri said salads.
Oh, salads.
Yeah, that's what
Amazing.
Jiri said.
I think I might.
I walk off to go talk to Kinsalo, so you guys don't have to worry about me anymore.
I think I'm gonna message Korik. And
A dude with feathers.
that dude with feathers, as we amicably called him.
Oh, I walk away and I take the sending stone out that I have that goes to Mirage.
And
of course.
and Jiri, if you don't mind, I think I might send a message to Gallus.
All right, fine. Just tell whatever you do. Tell both whoever you send it to that I say hi.
Jiri hi. Jiri says hi. I'm trying to see if I can get it down to 2 words instead of 3.
Just last word. Just say Jiri. Period.
I'm taking out the sending stone and I'm just saying, it's 25 words, I don't really care. It's roulette. Made it to Caer Methrandine in the Feywild. Any chance you know a quick way out? That's it.
How's Jiri's boots?
Roll a d20 for me as you send that message.
How's Jiri's? I will tack that on. I will say how's Jiri's boots?
Because I believe it's a 5%.
10.
Yeah, 5%.
A 10.
Oh,
yeah.
but he's
Oh,
worried-
I
he's
wasn't
worried
even.
about
I wasn't
Faye.
even
He's worried
thinking.
about
Yeah,
Faye,
I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah. Roll a d100 for me, please.
Oh, Jesus.
5% though.
That's a crazy number. With a 10, you get a response back of Roulette, my friend, you understand? You have made my day. I haven't heard from you in a while. How fare things in the Feywild? This one thinks the boots are.
Oh, the stupidest character we've ever met.
Jiri.
I will turn back to Jiri because I'm assuming that's in my head, if I remember correctly, the sending stone.
It is in your head.
And I take 40 points of force damage.
That's how that works.
No, and then you get another message of, I will get better at this one day. Things are going well in Korita. Jiri's boots are progressing nicely. How fare you all?
And this, I'm assuming this is sending and I can respond to it.
You have that connection made.
Oh God. We're safe. Trying to get back home. Hitting a few hurdles. If you know a shortcut, that might help.
How do we get out of the Feywild?
He will respond with an additional spell slot, and we'll see if it comes through.
Love this man.
You just called him the stupidest character we've ever met.
Yeah, but now he's
Interplanar travel is tricky, and the Feywild is notoriously chaotic. This one cannot give you any easy answers. You see a shot, you take it.
Much appreciated as always, Mirage. Next time you get a chance, say hi and tell me what date it is. That's it.
Your response goes through.
My message to Quirk. We've encountered Eladrin, or however it is pronounced.
Eladrin.
He's counted all those words against you.
Do you know any other ways to escape the Fey realm? Kinsalo is still in tow, and Jiri insists that he says hi.
This is to Korik.
Korik.
Okay, can you roll a D100 and a D20?
I love the critter has to play telephone.
Telephone.
That was close.
Oh, that's getting close. A D20,
What?
please. Is that a nat 20?
I don't know that that's
It is.
good. I don't like the way he did that.
Korik's head explodes.
I feel like it means whether
Teleport
they're
to us.
busy or not.
Oh, are they pooping?
Are you pooping?
On the toilet.
Are you pooping?
Hello, who is that there? Toby Rama, was that you?
He knows it to be me.
I think something happened in the delivery of your message.
You don't sense pain or agony or anything like that to his voice. He's just confused and definitely did not seem to receive the message.
20 was bad.
It's almost not even a good or bad thing. It's just like various things can happen and that alters things in various ways. So
I love a bell curve on a 20.
I will take my final sending cast again to Korik, and I will say, do you know of ways to return from the Fey realm? Our current path home is complicated. And I'll do it again. D100?
Yep.
Good. D20.
10.
More average, I think.
Ah, there you are. Much clearer, thank you. I do not have much experience with plane shifting, but I would imagine well-off populaces are more likely to have access. Good luck.
Good. I heard good.
I mean, what did Gene say?
I told you I was talking to Korik. He didn't hear me the first time.
You
So-
wasted too long, Korik.
He says hi, if that's any consolation. He feels
That was nice of him.
He feels that an actual civilization that claims to have access to realm travel is a better bet than going off and searching for some unique opportunity. So I think that encourages me to continue through with this quest the Eladrin have given us.
Very well. Well, unless there are any other conversations or bits of business to conclude, before you all determine who's going to maybe take first shift of watch or whatever, or start to really go to sleep, Kinsalo will grab all of you guys' attention. Hey guys, I've been kind of lost in my own thoughts for probably several hours at this point. How should I put this? I want to start by saying lycanthropy isn't evilness. It's probably easy to look at dangerous creatures and look, I'm not casting any judgment. I was attacking them alongside you all, and I know we have to make quick decisions in the heat of battle and stuff, and that's something I've never struggled with. But just so you know, a lot of Villian willingly take on the blessing of lycanthropy. Like the Beast King, for example, comes to mind. He's a were-lion. One might consider me a lycan because of my ability to transform without the use of spell casting. I'm not like a druid like Korik. But anyway, I'm feeling weird about killing some of those were creatures back there, and now we're tasked with maybe killing more. I don't know that ones we already slew were deserving of that fate. Again, I know quick decisions have to be made, and I really appreciate having you all at my side. I feel safer. Sawet would probably say I'm being naive, but I really feel I can trust you guys. But self-preservation aside, we're a little quick on the draw on killing those people. They never really aggressed us until we aggressed them. And I've met dozens and dozens of kind-hearted were people back in Chimeras. Food for thought of whatever tomorrow brings.
That's why I'm hoping we start tomorrow with returning and asking some questions as a launching off point.
Yeah. That sounds good.
And Solo, we don't dislike were people, we dislike wolves, if there's a difference.
I guess that's a difference. You're not maybe faulting the individual, you're just fearful of their form, but even that should be questioned.
Tempered.
Yeah.
What do you mean questioned?
Well, I mean, even a stray wolf that you encounter in the wild
Would be evil.
may well no, Jerry. It might not attack you. It might be well fed and not desperate for meat, and it may not regard you as a threat or attack. It may go on its own way, preferring not to inhibit your way forward. It's just a beast of the earth. It's just driven by instinct and self-preservation like most of us. Anyway,
Oh.
I wanted to emphasize it to all of you that there are many Villian were creatures, and that does not make them evil people or worthy of being killed. Again, I don't think we were evil for having fought those creatures earlier today. I think we acted a little hastily, and I'm not personally feeling good about it. I have friends that looked like them, you know?
I think what Consalo is trying to say here is that we need to be measured in the way in which we proceed. So perhaps us sleeping on some of these ideas or meditating on them will help us understand what our path is going forward.
I have a question.
Mhm.
I didn't write a good note about the mind reading that I did of the lycanthropes. Do you remember what I heard them thinking about?
Yeah.
I know I heard them thinking
Yeah.
about the creature and the elves.
In a heightened state of battle, you actually weren't getting a bunch of intelligible dialogue thoughts. It was more flashes and emotions than anything else. And you were getting frustration towards the Eladrin. And now that you had seen two different gleaming cities in your kind of quick vision, and neither of those cities were what you saw the Eladrin occupying. But when you saw the Eladrin in his mind, you saw them leading this large tortoise-like creature with a tree growing out of its back and covered in vines and natural growth. And they were leading it away from Uric, the leader of the were creatures pack. So it's kind of lining up with what the Eladrin told you, that they had come across these were creatures and removed them of a Zaratan, and now you're kind of piecing together of maybe that tortoise creature was a Zaratan that they took from the were creatures bonds or whatever. They were leading it back to their kind of ruins, and you were getting a sense of frustration towards them and a desire to make it to this other gleaming, beautiful city.
Okay.
Can Consalo roll a persuasion check?
Sure.
Wow, Consalo.
As with a minor +1 to his persuasion, fate, kind of intervened there. It's pretty persuasive.
You're so right. Maybe I've misplaced my hatred towards wolves. I gotta really think about this.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to step on your experience. I don't know your interactions with wolves. That if you're hesitant or nervous or even frightened near them, I'm not going to blame you for that, but I would urge judgment in the moment. Get to know it before you make a snap decision.
You're so
That
right,
goes for
Consalo. They
beasts
could be
or-
nice, and we wouldn't know unless we talked to them.
Very true.
Man.
Wolves by nature are very defensive, territorial, and often found with a pack. So they can be dangerous for sure, but they're not evil creatures by any means.
You just blew my mind, man. I got so much to think about.
Thanks for listening. Okay. Well, Consalo his kind of body language seems satisfied after having had that conversation, and is able to kind of go off on his own and curl up and go to sleep on a small bedroll. Who's intending to take watch?
I can stay up first. I have more thinking to do.
Okay. That sounds good.
Toby's gonna try and go to bed right away.
I'm probably still working, so I will stay up as well.
Okay.
To assist.
Yes. That makes sense. You'll kind of close out your final 6 hours with full sleep. Probably not able to give a watch.
I'm gonna. I'd like to do my trance for the first 4 hours, and then I'll take over after someone does second shift.
That sounds great. Who is offering for Rome to wake them up when Rome's done with her watch?
Jiri, I think you've got second shift.
No. No. I'm very tired.
Well,
I've got too much to think about. I need to sleep this I need to sleep over. I do most of my thinking in my sleeping.
So you're gonna make Toby do it then?
I don't care who does it, but it won't be me.
Toby is already like alone in his little spot. Maybe he's rolled out a little bedroll, so like he's not gonna weigh in, but he's not like saying I won't do it.
Well, Jiri, look Toby in the eyes and say you have to do second watch because I'm lazy. Say those exact.
Well, I'm not gonna say because I'm lazy. I'm gonna say because I'm tired,
exhausted.
exhausted. One might say.
Tell him that then.
Toby, I'm exhausted. You're gonna have to do watch because Telperion can't do 2 watches.
I do 2 watches every night.
Yeah,
Jiri.
I can do that.
He can't do 3.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Thanks, Toby.
Okay.
Good night.
Well, as Jiri goes to sleep, Roulette continues to work. Toby goes to sleep. Telperion starts his trance. Rome, could you give me a perception check over the course of your 2-hour watch?
Oh, wait, I'll give you advantage on that one because I have enhance abilities, so I'll cast it on her.
I'm going to say your enhance ability is still on you for maintaining this work period, and you're probably not able, you're kind of locked into your...
She doesn't need it.
She needs a lot of help with that 25.
Definitely does not need it. With the 25, Rome, you keep a very careful ear out. Every snap of a twig or shuffle of a leaf kind of flags you, but you also are intimately comfortable with this type of terrain. Being surrounded by a forest, you know that was just a bird jumping off a tree. You know that was some critter scurrying through the forest floor. Nothing strikes you over the course of your 2 hours as threatening from an ambush type sense. Is there anything you're wanting to do over the course of this 2 hours when you're mostly alone? Telperion's off on his bedroll, just trancing upright, and Roulette is working actively on her mechanical construct, but the others are asleep.
I imagine that I'm sitting on the ground and just putting more and more roots and shoots out, becoming more and more connected to everything around me.
I love that.
Perhaps searching the cosmos for answers. But also like sensing the nature around me for sure.
Yep. You're definitely able to do so. And you are so in tune with nature that you feel very confident in your awareness in the space around you. You do not sense any threats nearby. And after a period of time that you estimate to be 2 hours, you can wake up Toby Rama if you wish, so that you can get some shut-eye for the first time and since you've walked again. And then Toby Rama, as you are woken, go ahead and give me a perception check.
So...
Oh, you know what? No, we're going to do something first.
Okay, I thought I was going to do something first, but here we are.
Let's start with this. Telperion, are you guiding your thoughts in trance toward anything? Are you letting emotions take over? Are you thinking of specific people, home, or are you being rather passive in your rest?
I think I'm feeling pretty passive in regards to Kinsala's words had a strong impact, but also here I am meeting Eladrin, who also they're pretty impactful to me. Meeting them is a big deal. So I'm kind of feeling a little conflicted, and I just kind of want my trance to, I'm not sure where to direct it. So I would definitely have just like opted to relax into whatever guidance could come from whatever memories strike.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
17.
17. You think about, in a weird way, as you think about Kinsalo's words urging caution before issuing judgment on were creatures, and you think about the Eladrin, and like you had said, haughty, but that also doesn't imply ill will, just as feral instinctual features on a person's body might not for were creatures. In a strange sense, this dangerous were creature versus refined, haughty Eladrin individual feels very reminiscent of the Udinil Villian kind of dichotomy mentality. And you start to struggle with gleaming any specific insight from that. However, almost in a willingness to not dive too much into that and form your own opinions about what that could represent or mean for you, you start shifting of just your friends. This Rome individual's rather fascinating. Kinsalo is very interesting in his own right. And then you think of your mission at large, your people, and words that you had spoken earlier in not angsty frustration, but almost like speaking them was a bummer, that you haven't found very much evidence of what you're looking for. You feel confident in the fact that you have seemingly ruled out Creatia. And as when Alethir spoke to you, they indicated that they confidently ruled out Chimeras. So in one way, that is a enormous chunk of the continent you have ruled out, if those judgments can be trusted. And maybe there could be something to Jiri's suggestion of looking in Durast. It certainly could be a dangerous for them, but effective place to hide amongst humans if they are able to do so. You're not sure, but you gain some foundational level satisfaction with, you have ruled out almost half the continent in some way. But otherwise, your trance continues unhindered. Is that a word?
Uninhibited.
Uninhibited. That is a good word. Roulette. As you're actively working on Alfie, you are experiencing twinges in your stomach and convulsions, and it's frustrating to you, and you have control over this. You're not letting it bubble up to an uncomfortable place, but it was frustrating and surprising after several weeks at this point that you've had control of this for a while. It was weird when Tobirama cleansed you of whatever effect was taking you and almost re-triggered that developing biological enigma, but rapidly, very difficult for you to overcome. And as your stomach calms after a while, because you are capable of keeping it under wraps, you also have this ache that kind of permeates your whole body. And after a while, after your 2 hours, this is probably what kind of instigates you to finally go to sleep. Is you're not sure if it's the physical exertion from recent days or what, but it's almost like your blood feels achy, almost like it's like coagulating in a not concerning way, but a little discomfortable. And especially your right hand at times almost seems to go numb, and you have to shake it out a couple times, and it feels sore. And after a while, maybe you were holding your tinkering tools too tight while working on it, but you eventually have to kind of, all right, I've done what I can, I got a half day of work done, before you're able to go to sleep.
So I wrote all this down like prior to today, because this is one of the things I wanted to check. I want to take. So I have my firebolt glove on like permanently. I hardly ever taken it off. I do want to like not all the way take it off, but loosen it because there is a burn scar on the back of my hand from like the very first time I tried to create this glove when I was 14 years old. And I'm just gonna like look at it, and the same way that I was looking for my other scars around my body, is it still there? Mostly just I want to look at it, like because I know you're learning about this right now too, but I'm making sure that the scar is still there.
Yeah, you loosen your glove a little bit. You check the scar, and the scar is there. But what's strange is the back of your hand looks kind of bruised in a weird way, and you don't think you've like necessarily received heavy impact on that hand, but it definitely has like discoloration of like the blood vessels under it. But yeah, your scar is still there, and your hand feels achy and a little discomfortable, but it just seems to be bruised.
I put that glove right back on. Yeah, I put that glove right back on.
She wouldn't be roulette if she didn't ignore something like that.
And I do my stretches and I go to sleep.
You go to sleep. Jiri.
This feels like 3 months ago where everyone was going through puberty.
You have fallen asleep soundly. You're in deep rest until a crash of thunder wakes you up. And you wake up and open your eyes, and you are in that neural storm, that vast expanse with moving liquid all around you that seems to be going off in some distance. You're not sure where it's moving to, but you just see flashes of light in the space, and you hear a voice call out in the expanse.
Jiri, I apologize for taking over your form briefly today. I thought it was due time I made contact with the rest of them. I tried my best to allow you to be present for that conversation as well. Part of our pact was that I would not do that much, if ever again, and I do apologize. My impatience is growing with our goals, but I do see more value being patient alongside your friends than trying to do it alone as Jax once did. Additionally, I started to think that perhaps we could try to remember memories together instead of separately searching for them by ourselves. I don't know how intertwined our minds are. I don't know if your memories will be revealed or my own. But if you'll allow me, I would like to try to break a barrier and allow us to have a chance at regaining something, anything. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Oh boy. I mean, if you think it'll be a good idea, sure.
Very well. I mean no harm when I do this. Steady yourself. I know you can handle it.
I hope it's a good memory.
And you hear him, this entity, scream out, and you see a flashing of that neural network storm. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Scenarios like these, I never know if you want to succeed or fail it. We
That
know
was
what
a delicious
happened.
roll. That was an amazing roll. 22.
You have like four. You have like 4 inspirations. Like, nah, I'll never use those.
I'll use one of
As?
them. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
use one of them. This is a pretty big one.
You roll some.
Okay.
Slightly better. Above 10 at least.
7
1
better than
second.
granting advantage. Statistically.
You see the cavern like shaking, thrashing, and the storm picks up and is violent and dangerous. And you see a chunk of part of the ceiling fall. These pieces that you've been scrambling to knit back together, patch up the walls with your lightning lore and otherwise, trying to maintain some semblance of order in this crazy space. And a piece falls directly on you, and your vision is cut off until vision returns to you. And this does not appear to be your own memory, because you don't remember being here low with these runes around you on the ground. You look up and you see directly in front of you a view of Moira, that wicked witch, the devil scourge of Durast, the devil haunt of Durast. My apologies. She's beautiful and frustratingly so, because you know her cruelty. And behind Moira, you see familiar, gleaming, bright, reflective celestial armor of a helmeted individual. Well, it appears this far has worked. What is next, woman? I suppose the only thing to do left is the binding. And she grasps a long, jagged, crooked, Vanta black blade and pushes it into your form, and you feel the pain. And she begins to mutter an incantation. And off in the side, you see the Arknight turn his head slightly in the direction of another individual that is out of view, off in the distance. And you hear one phrase. I am sorry, brother. And as soon as that is spoken, Jiri and Tobirama immediately jolt awake. And I think that's where I'd like to call it for today.
Wait, Jiri and did you say Jiri and Tobirama?
That is what he
Jiri
said out
and
loud.
Tobirama jolt awake.
Who's on watch at this point?
I thought Toby was on watch.
No, this was.
No, this is I backed us up into the first part of watch. So you
Oh,
are
I see.
literally, you're probably completing your watch. Roulette has just gone to sleep after her 2 hours of work. You've completed your 2 hours of shift. Telperion has been trancing. Jiri and Tobirama have been asleep. And as soon as you, Rome, are about to walk over and wake up Tobirama for his shift, he and Jiri jolt up, alerted and almost frightened looking. And that
Who
is where
said,
we
I am
leave off.
sorry, brother? The
The person.
Some individual off screen. It was not the muffled, helmeted voice of the Arknight, and it was not Moira standing in front of the perceiver.
I am sorry, brother.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is going on?
Am I like 40 years old now? What? I don't even.
I can't
Yeah,
believe
you're like, you got 80-year-old bruising all over your hands.
What is
No,
that?
it's
I
not
believe
like
a
that.
lesser restoration
It-
solved that.